I think this shit is working. Come on now, YouTube. Alright, I'm gonna just assume that everything's working the way it needs to work. Um, it says it is, so. Alright, I'm gonna do this and I make it kind of like, for the most part, it's a little customized, right? Because a lot of people are used to seeing the picket cards on YouTube. But, from what I've seen, I don't think people necessarily understand how it's supposed to work. So I'm going to give it to you, right? So we have group one, two, three, and four, right? And I kind of laid out different messages for each group. So you definitely know who you are. Um, I have a couple of different things that kind of define y'all and I think are really strengths in your character. Um, and I think that it's going to be really easy to pick who you are because at the end of the day, you picking a motherfucking number that defines you. You picking a voice that defines you, an emotion that defines you. And also, I'm going to read out what I have already laid out for each group just so that it kind of like further pushes you towards your number. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, sometimes we think we have the right thing, but we really don't type shit. It's like, well, okay, well, this energy, that energy, we all over the fucking place. So that's how I want to do it. Now, like I said, YouTube's showing me a totally different screen. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that, but hopefully y'all can see me. In the chat, let me know if you cannot see me or something's going on. So the first group that I laid out, group number one, right? And like I said, we're gonna go through the descriptors first. So keep that in mind. We haven't started group one yet. We just going through the descriptions, okay? So group one, y'all two cards that y'all got was Karma and Nephilim. Okay, and if you don't know what Nephilim is, it's a different way of saying like an angel, special being brought to this planet to bring change, kind of like Earth Angel. I'm gonna say Earth Angel is a great way to define Group One. In Group One, y'all also did have some messages. So your first message was, "I don't dance and I don't fuck around for nobody." So y'all very serious. Just know that about Group One. You very motherfucking serious. We'll only settle once y'all in the grave. Like I said, y'all be doing a lot of that, like, I'll do this till I'm in the grave type shit, or like I'll push myself to the fullest extent. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. I'm doing this for me and mine, and that's it. Bottom of the line. The group one, you're very serious people. Kind of make me lean towards more like the air earth community, but at the end of the day, you could also be a very passionate fucking fire sign or water sign. So it don't even fucking matter the signs up in this bitch. Just know, group one, you a very serious pair. Y'all got balls. Y'all don't give a fuck about nobody, anyone's opinion, and sometimes that could come to your detriment. Okay, and what I wrote next was serious as fuck, right? And then I wrote another message that says, "Stay out of my life. Return to sender." So y'all know when you be dealing with that rough shit, right? We ain't talking about no like, we ain't talking about a just a spiritual attack. This is like a personal attack. This is like, things are getting more personal, or you're starting to connect possibly with, a romantic partner, and it's just not working out the way you need it to, right? This could be a past, present, whatever, but I don't feel like group one, you're so focused on love that we can't squeeze some more messages out of you. Because I just feel like, though this is the primary where you're feeling scorn, you're feeling a little hurt, or you're feeling a little bitter, I feel like there's more to you than meets the eye. So I just want to make that clear, okay? It's not just about love for that category. We're going to try something with y'all where I feel like is going to be mainly spiritual. So, like I said, group one is group one of earth angels, right? Now, don't get ahead of yourself now. Group two, Group two felt a little bit different to me because you guys are actually ahead of the game a little bit in working on shadow work. So you're working on a lot of the trauma, a lot of the darker aspects of your life. You've been working on it. Okay, this is not something where this is not something where you're new to the game. Group two is very challenging because you're surrounded by a group of people, or possibly family members, or possibly people that are not necessarily at your level, right? You're surrounded by people and surrounded by romantic partners, potential romantic partners, that are maybe just not at your level. They're not where you need them to be necessarily to be in your life. So group two is all about, y'all have already started the journey, and people might be pressuring you, or trying to pull you down in some type of aspect. And I think you're doing a pretty good job at ignoring that shit. So group two, you're trying to understand how you perceive forward when you're kind of surrounded by adults, or kind of like surrounded by idiots, or maybe just the energy is a little bit lower. You're trying to figure that out, like navigate that shit, right? So group two, the two cards that I got for y'all was Shadow Self and Embrace Your Darkness. And I'll explain what that means when I get to y'all group two. Okay, Embrace Your Darkness is not a card of like we're talking evil. We're talking about your shadow self, like your background, your past, your trauma, the things that have kind of put you over, right? Put you over the edge in more ways than one, too. It doesn't have to just affect your love life. It could be your money. It could be your family life. It could be so many different things going on right now, but you're handling it quite well. I'm not going to say compared to most people, but you handle it quite well for you, right? And so we say group two has already started their self-work, shadow work. Y'all might be in therapy. Y'all might have already some process of coping that is positive. Okay, so this is not people who are in the depths of depression. You're working your way out of that stage, and so you're actually doing pretty well, right? Group two, your messages were outstanding self-work, got rid of the toxic waste to invite in the new shit at your own pace. I'm going to read that one again because I love that one. Get rid of the toxic waste to invite in the new shit at your own pace. Okay. And your next message was pressure to be perfect no matter what. Okay. And that's what I want to say about group two. Is that, like, y'all really focus on perfectionism. You focus on, like, I need my life to be dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And, nobody and nothing gonna be out of place. It can't be, right? You're kind of OCD about that shit, okay? That's group two. And people who are being like, oh, well, all of these numbers sound like me. Pick a motherfucking number and stick on it. Stay on it. Do not be jumping around and be like, oh, this message must be for me. Or I'm going to combine group 1 and 4. No. We don't do that. No. You pick a solid number and you stick with it. The ADHD with some of my folks... We don't do that, okay? Just pick one, okay? I get it. I understand. You're like, well, they all sound like me. Well, you have the potential to be in certain places, in many places at once, right? But pick one and stick with it, because I'm telling you, the messages will get more specific as we go. Pick one of the numbers and stick close. So, group three. Group three was a little bit different, too. I realized that, like, we have a lot of weird energy tonight, and most of it has to do with, like, how your take on spirituality, your take on tarot, your take on karma, and your take on your relationships with other people. Like, all y'all have very different ways of looking at your situations, and let's make that clear. No one is better than anyone else, or no one has a better outcome. These are all just outcomes. It's simply what it is, and that's how you need to accept it as, is what it is. Obviously things are specific messages meant for other folks, other people, but what you can do with that is focus on the messages that are meant for you, and essentially put that into perspective, put it into your life. Make sure that you're not over focusing, you know what I mean, kind of like panicking, right? But the cards that I got for group three was, come on now, and by the way, I did pick like kind of objects that fit y'all's vibes, and the object I picked for group three was a feather, and I'll show that to y'all as I go through the different groups. All right, so group three, your theme is seasonal growth, and 444 is on this card. It was 444 actually when I was taking the picture of all of the cards. So it's interesting that how y'all kind of lined up with this shit. So group three is on some spiritual journey shit. Okay, this is something that I feel like, you're a part of a you're a part of a bigger picture, or I feel like you're different in a means of like you might be a loner, okay? And I feel like you in group four are loners. You have very particular means of like separating yourself from family, separating yourself from friends, separating yourself from basically everything to go on your own journey. And I feel like this is like a, they talk about this in Buddhism, they talk about this in Hinduism, they talk about this in like, prayer even, or when they talk about monks, right? They talk, and we can make jokes about all that type of weird spiritual shit, right? Where it's like, oh, well, they sit there for, the monks will sit there and punish themselves, slap themselves on the back and shit, and be looking up at the Buddha statue, constantly praying, constantly taking in like tides and shit like that. But I feel like it's different, right? Your means of repentance, your means of giving back to Mother Earth or whatever you want to call it, God, whatever, your means of giving back is much different, right? From your peers, from your family, anything that you've been knowing throughout your life as like a religious factor or whatever, you take it a totally different route. You spin this shit totally around your finger. And it is so easy. That's the thing. Group 3, it's really easy for you to manifest. Okay? Really easy for you to manifest. But I feel like right now, whatever the present time is, like the second card I picked was your needs are not being met, or there's too much pressure on your back, right? So group 3, I feel like that tells me something. It's like, okay, you guys are perfect manifestors, you are perfect providers, you are perfect protectors, right? But your needs, or the things that you need to get to the highest place, the highest position you could possibly be in, the needs are not being met. Okay. And it's not because you're necessarily doing anything. And we'll talk about that a little bit. You could be, kind of a factor in it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are the only factor. We'll kind of look at the things around you that are preventing you and pressuring you to, be pushed to sudden change. And I think that's really it, group 3. It's like really, really, really big change, really big growth. And you can't, you almost can't accept it, right? And so we'll look into that. So group 3, the messages that I had written down for you was born again / reincarnated from a strong king or queen type energy, or almost like it reminded me of head of household type energy. So reborn from a head of household, female or male, doesn't really fucking matter the gender, but it's like you were reborn. Okay. And so they talk about reincarnation. I'm gonna use it in like a very gentle fashion, of which it's possible that you have transitioned from being a person who's just like your grandmother, just like your grandfather, just like your mother, just like your father, but you transition into being something else entirely. It's like you learn from a lot of your parents or guardians' mistakes, and you've created an all different type of parenting, all different type of work, of job, occupation. Like, it's just very different, okay? And like, that's what I mean by y'all are kind of alone on this journey. It's because you don't really have anybody around you who vocalizes your same opinions and leans towards your same goal. There might be things coming up here too with the holidays, in which you don't really practice holiday with your a big large family. It's more like a very minute small group, because you don't really share that same drive, or it's just a different drive. You know what I mean? You take it a different drive down a different route. Okay. And group 3, that's what I'm gonna say about y'all. Group 4 is our last group. And group 4 was kind of leaving off on kind of a bittersweet, sour ass energy. Like, I don't think it's y'all being sour, right? Because at the end of the day, group 4, I feel like, is going through the most change. Okay, so group 3, yes, you are going through massive changes, but you've already had that shit in your head from the beginning of time. Like, since you were born, you've been knowing that you're going to make changes, that you're going to do something different, all right? You've been knowing that you are different. You've been knowing that because you stick out like a sore thumb. You've been knowing that, though. But group 4, I feel like, doesn't necessarily know. They don't understand their purpose fully, and it's very hard for them to conceptualize or deal with the things that life throws at them all at the same time. They're kind of stuck because at the end of the day, you want to be able to end something that's been affecting you, something that's been hurting or harming you, or something that's been toxic to you. You want to be able to end it, or you want to be able to shut a person down or a situation down. You want to be able to move on with your life. But it's very hard for you to accept that this is how it's going to end. Is maybe you don't get everything that you want out of the situation. Maybe you don't get all of the answers. But like, group 4, you're gonna have to learn that that's okay though. Sometimes no answer is the best answer, right? And we gotta just move forward instead of pondering and pondering and pondering. So group 4, it's like, y'all are also very, very strong type, and I feel like y'all often get put down as being the victim or the weak person, even though you are very, very emotional. You're very interloped with your intuition. You're very interloped with embracing kindness and love, and you like a stress-free life, but unfortunately life doesn't accept that. You know what I mean? Life comes towards you with the stressful things, and then you kind of have to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, or the bad guy, or you're an intuitive. You're very intuitive, and so you kind of have to hide some of these quirks about yourself, or different flavors about yourself. You're different in the means of like you primarily use intuition and spirituality in order to cope and move through life. You are very different in that means. Okay, so you very much focus on spirituality. You don't have any doubts about your gifts, but you do hide your gifts from other people. So what I wrote about group 4 was don't like you, don't need you, and do not want you. Okay. And that was like a very strong message to start out with. I was like, shit. Don't like you, don't need you, and don't fucking want you. Okay, and that was, like I said, you telling somebody this, or they're telling you this, and it is something that's very, very, I feel like, emotional, very strong, very, like, it's definitely like underline type shit. So it's underline, where I feel like you have to keep saying that or repeating that, group 4. And group 4, your next message was enlighten. A monster was exposed to you. Okay. Now, you can take that or as light or as heavy as you want to. More than likely, we will get a couple of different, like, more serious messages out of group 4, because enlightened monster was exposed to you. To me, tells me that group 4 was dealing with a very specific situation, which might lean towards more like an evil type of personality or a narcissistic type of personality. You was dealing with a person that was like that. I would say, like, more than likely this group has not left the situation yet. If not, you have left, but you're still talking to that person in a romantic means, or thinking about rekindling with that individual. Okay, or you're trying to rekindle some, like, a really bad relationship. Okay, and you're kind of stuck on it, right? You can't get it out of your head. It's like, why can't I get this person out of my head? Why can't I get this situation out of my head? It's not something. It's something that you love, that you kind of hate, but at the same time, you still love this person, right? So bittersweet ending. New story. It starts all alone. So group 4, it's a bittersweet ending. No matter what, it's gonna feel sour. It's gonna feel tart. It's gonna feel like shit. But it gets better and it grows and it becomes something new and improved. And you feel, even though you're alone, you're doing much better. After everything that you've been through and gone through and try to push yourself through with dealing with this individual all alone, you actually are so much better off. The amount of growth, like, I feel like people almost look up to you in a way. The amount of spiritual growth you've had just being alone, like I said, it's enlightened you. It's created a different human being. It's created a different circumstance. It's made you appreciate life more. And I don't think there's any more excuses either that you can really make for this situation, other than the fact that, yeah, you feel like you're done. You don't want a second chance or a third chance or a 10th chance with this individual, but you still have love there. Like I said, that's kind of the stipulation, is that you still have love there. And it's hard and you struggle, but we'll talk about it. And I didn't even read the cards, interestingly enough. I kind of skipped over the cards. So the cards say, new adventures come with an immediate change. Okay, so new shit, new situations come with immediate change. And then the next card is alone. And in the card that I saw in the background was Scorpio, so you could be a water sign, you could be a Scorpio, you could be heavily affected by Scorpio. But the next card was alone. Okay, so that's what's up with group 4. So we'll go through each group. We're starting out with group 1. I will be kind of keeping track of the times, and I'm going to try my best to stay on par or topic with love and money, and other little messages might be laced out through. But who really, at the end of the day, if it's not something that's with you, that you don't really fuck with, or it's not really your style, then listen for other messages, obviously, throughout other readings. But don't take everybody's everything. Don't go like, oh, I'm group 1 and 3 and 5 and this and this and that mixed together. No, just pick 1 or 2 messages to resonate with. Cause we go hard up in this bitch. Y'all already know. If you've been to my channel before, you already know that we get some shit out. We air some shit out. So let me move around some of these piles, and then we'll start on group 1. And group 1, we starting you at 20 minutes. So let me write that down. Let me write that down. Interestingly enough, too, group 1 has like a strong air sign presence. But like I said, I'm not putting labels on nobody. You just have that vibe. You have the Gemini vibe. And I don't think you are Gemini, but I think that you have very strong communication skills where like you definitely set boundaries and you set people afire. You make people scared or fear for their life type shit. It's like you very intense, group 1. Like you incredibly intense. You just have that type of energy where like no matter what you say goes. Like you state that shit and it just goes. It flies. And I feel like people are definitely intimidated by that. Okay? So group 1. Let's start. Ooh. Okay, so triumphant group 1. That's what I'm gonna call y'all. I picked out like I believe this was like a little crocodile claw. I picked this all off my altar because I felt like it kind of resonated with y'all. I picked up on like working man hands or working woman hands, like somebody who definitely gets into like the physical work or the physical aspect of life. You were way more appreciative of the physical aspect of life, and I feel like more recently you've been more appreciative of your body, or trying to change different things about your how you look at yourself. Because at the end of the day, you've created a very, very, very firm, stern, very defensive type personality. You kind of push a lot of people and a lot of what people say away from you. You don't really, you're stubborn, okay? You don't really listen. You have a hard time listening. But when it does feel like, you're cornered, I feel like, people kind of abandon you. I feel like because of your strong opinions, because of your strong personality type, people typically abandon you. They make you feel let down. They try you. They try you. They corner you. They pitchfork you. That what I pick up on is like people with like the pitchforks and the poster board type shit, where they're sitting outside your house type shit, or they're kind of like pushing you into a corner and be like, bitch, oh my God, this bitch is so like, how can she say that? It's like you're saying literally what is on every single person's mind for real though, but they have to like team up against you in order to work for like the weaker person or the more toxic person because they feel bad for that person. Okay, so that's what's up. That's what's up. Like people really, it's like they really really want to hate you, but they kind of like you too. Does that make sense? It's like love-hate relationship with y'all. That's why I felt for Gemini. But like at the same time, you guys have a very lucky personality. So even though you do a lot of shit alone and you kind of like your solitude and it's very hard for you to kind of like accept anyone into your energy, you're still a very lucky bitch. You don't really need nobody to define you or be with you or alongside of you. You're kind of your own ride or die type person. That doesn't mean you're not dealing with romantic situations though, because I feel like more recently Group 1 has dealt with romantic situations though. I feel like you've had to try your best to suppress some of these traits inside of you that make you a little bit more, like I said, stubborn or a loner type or your own ride or die. You've had to suppress some of your things that make you more confident, honestly. And I think that that's actually been a pretty bad thing, right? I think that's been a bad thing for y'all. Because even though your strong personality sticks out to romantic partners, even though you might intimidate people and make people feel kind of afraid of you a little bit, I think that's one of the things that makes you great, you know? That's one of the things that makes you shine, that makes you look good. Like, it's very sexy, it's very attractive, group one. You have to understand, like, because because of your limitations with maybe like communication, you not really being able to fully communicate your emotions and stuff like that. Your firm grip and your firm voice and like you're very firm in like how you set boundaries. Group one, you need to know that that's what makes you you, right? That's how you express yourself. It's firmness, right? It's the confidence. I pick up on like the firmly grasping energy type shit from SpongeBob. Y'all don't know. But if y'all know, then y'all know. Firmly grasp it. It's like you make people quake. Okay. And I love that about y'all. That is what makes you a star. That is what makes you strong. Okay. And sometimes like it's hard to take off that strong mask because you know you're doing it for a good reason. You know you're built very strong to protect your family, to protect your kids, to protect your peoples, to protect your partners. You know why you have that mask, baby. Okay? You don't want to be viewed as weak. You don't want people to look down on you. But like at the end of the day, you a leader through and through. So you having emotions or you having to cry once in a while or you feeling, like you need to take a step back, that's not viewed as weak by your peers, by your people, by your family, by your situation. You're not weak. You're not weak. Okay? You're not weak. And I don't want you to keep saying that or trying to like put out that energy that you're like, well, because I cried or because I'm dealing with this really rough situation, because I'm in this really rough romantic relationship and like because this person has put me through hell, it doesn't make you weak. Okay? It doesn't make you weak. You're a very powerful person, regardless. Okay? That's what I wanted to say before we get started. Like I said, I'm going to remind y'all of the cards that we started out with was Karma and Nephilim. And then Three of Swords is y'all's starter card. Okay? So, group one, as I said, y'all be dealing with the romance. Y'all be dealing with the shitty love situation and figuring out that someone's disingenuous. Figuring out that somebody has played you for a fool. Or figuring out that somebody wasn't who they said they was. They was disingenuous. Even though you are literally who you are face value. You do not lie. You do not play. Okay? You do not sit there and play around. You don't have the time to think up reasons in different situations on why you should or should not be with somebody. You just either will or you won't, right? If somebody is being disingenuous, you will leave. You will walk away. All right? You will walk away. Because essentially, what the fuck am I here for, right? That's what group one is saying. What the fuck am I here for then? If you're going to run me through the mud, what am I here for? Okay? Oh. Okay, so I think there's also something very personal to you about marriage, about commitment, about weddings, and different little things that are fairly traditional. I mean, in today's situations, like marriage, 99% of the time, marriage is kind of for show, right? It's for the family, right? But for you, it's for you. For you, when you get married, you need it to be about you. You need your person, your husband or your wife, to be about you and y'all's relationship and y'all's children together and y'all's basically your whole life path moving forward, right? And I feel like in 24 there's highlights all over about marriage and that ceremony of commitment and that rawness, like that raw emotion that comes up when you think about dedicating your whole entire life to somebody that you have, essentially fallen in love with, and now you're building that little picket fence. You're building that little house, or you've done this person right. You know what I mean? And 24, I feel like whoever you're dealing with, you've done them right. right? So let's see what's wrong. Let's see what's wrong. All right, I'm gonna show y'all the cards real quick. Let's see what's wrong. All right, so the world. In retrospect, I see where you're coming from. Okay, I see that it's very, very hard for you to trust. I know why it's very hard for you to trust. Upon every single relationship you've ever had in your whole entire life, you've had to question, and it's because they forced you to question it. Like I said, you only go by what you see. You go by what you see, not what you hear from the background. So you take people at face value, and a lot of the time, when you take them at face value, it also hurts you. Because instead of paying attention to your intuition, instead of paying attention when the warning signs and the red flags and every single little situation, like it's waving in your fucking face. It's very you don't. It's almost like you don't accept it, right? You try to look away from it. You're like, I gotta love my partner. This is my principle. I gotta love my person. I gotta love my situation. This is literally who I am, right? I am who I say I am. Very grounded, earthy, airy. And I feel like this has been in 2024. Once you kind of reach this point of like, okay, well, obviously we need change. We need something different here in the romantic route. We need something different. Whether you single or you a couple, you need something different, right? I need there to be a totally different aura about my relationship. I need to change something about my confidence. I need to change something about how I talk to somebody. Vice versa, they need to change how they talk to you. Whatever is being dragged through the mud, or whatever information is coming about your person and your partner and your love situation, I think you're gonna need change regardless. It's very hard for this group to change, though. Okay, group one, very hard for you to change your principles, because it's not like you haven't been through this road before. You've been down this road. You've already been through a very serious relationship. You've been through tying a knot possibly, or you've been serious about someone before and it's already hurt you. Okay. Now this could be the person that you've already been through it before, or this could be a new person where you're saying like this is very eerily similar. You're like, this motherfucker, like, I don't know about this shit. It's kind of like a kill 'em with kindness type situation where you're trying to be very sweet. You're trying to be very kind. You're trying to let this person know, yeah, I love you and I want to be intimate with you. I want the world with you. I want something changed, something different. I have changed from my past and shit like that. But like, it's one thing saying that, and one thing really putting that to physical effort, right? Because I feel like the trust issues and the trauma and PTSD, though that doesn't define you, it definitely defines this relationship. Okay. You make certain things in your life look very easy, but this is probably one of the hardest things for you. And I don't think you really express that to your partner. I don't think you really talk to your partner about the reason why you have these trust issues. And I don't think your partner really listens to that. Okay. And I don't think romantically really anyone has listened to you. You've never felt like your emotions are listened to. It's always about the other person and never about you. And naturally, because you fall in that line of caretaker and protector, it's always been about them and never about you. Until you leave that person, right? 555. Until you leave that situation or leave that person, then suddenly it's about you, right? It's like someone needs to be threatened in order to get into a good relationship or good standing with you. Someone needs to be threatened to love you. And that's not okay. Right? That strong personality that y'all put forward. You are not just strong. You're also loving. You're also caring. You're also a protector. Right? You're also very heavenly guided. Okay? You guys have all of these characteristics that are not being opened up and brought to the table by romantic partners. And so I urge you in 2024 to really pay attention to repeats. Okay? Repetitive situations. Okay, repetitive flows where you start almost feeling like this is very, like you get that feeling of deja vu, or that feeling of like, wow, I've been here before with the same motherfucker over and over and over again. Be aware of that, right? Don't be, I'm not saying be overly paranoid, but I'm saying like pay attention to when you get that feeling, that sign of like, oh, I've dealt with this situation before. Like this is really, really really like not my forte, you know. Even though this person's really nice, they're really smart, they're really attractive, they're just there's something about them, you know what I mean? There's something about this. Like I think you get it. I think you really do. Like I think you really are a vigilant individual. But when everything in your life is kind of lined up, so for example, we work with y'all. In group one, work with y'all is very very tedious. Very very, in my opinion, y'all are perfectionists. Y'all are very very hard and strong workers, and you use your head a lot within work, so you use logic a lot within work. And I think a lot of the time you try to use logic within your relationships as well, though certain things are not logical, right? Certain things do not depend on logic, they depend on emotion. They depend on how you show someone your emotion and your intimate moments, right? How it's vulnerability, not logic, right? And so that's really really hard sometimes for y'all to separate, because with work, you know how it is. It's like you get the motherfucking job done. You know, if people aren't agreeing with you at work, you say fuck them, and you still get the fucking job done. You power through. You know, people have fought you on this. People have tried to fight you down from succeeding, but you have essentially made yourself at a comfortable leadership position. If not leadership position, then a position where you could really relax and be yourself, be your controlling self, because that's what I pick up on. Perfectionist controlling self, where you can exercise that healthily and positively at work. This is almost like your coping mechanism. Work was introduced to you in a really strange way, I feel, as well. I don't think this is what you started out wanting to do, but I think it's what you ended up doing regardless, right? Because at the end of the day, you felt most at home in this position that you were completely unfamiliar with. And isn't it crazy and weird how someone who hates change so much, group one, ends up getting into a situation where they're forced to change, and then all of a sudden it's like it just falls into place. It's like gold mine here, gold mine there, gold mine everywhere type shit. It's a puzzle. Like it finished your puzzle for you. So whatever you have found, the gold mine you tripped upon, it's something that you can call safe. Okay, it's a safe haven. No one can take it away from you. Though people could stress you out, people can make you feel small sometimes. Nobody can take what you have achieved from you within the workspace. Nobody. Okay, nobody. I really like that you guys are kind of like you're secret dreamers is what I'm gonna call it. You're somebody who secretly like manifest and secretly like you keep a lot of things to yourself. You're very secretive, I think, about your spirituality as well and what you believe in. You try to keep it to yourself because essentially you don't want people catching wind of how you create, how you manifest, how you grow so quickly. You don't want people to see you in that vulnerable position, like I said. And I think as a repercussion of that as well, you do actually attract a larger group of spiritual people, okay, or people who focus. They have also have that focus and have that drive, but they kind of like mix it up a little bit with spirituality. It's like an intuitive flavor. I think you attract men or women that are very intuitive, you know, without even really realizing why, okay, or what you really need from that situation. Because like I'm already intuitive myself. Like why the fuck would I need this person or that person, or like it kind of intimidates you in a way because you're like, okay, why am I dealing with a person who be saying all this crazy shit about spirituality or witchcraft or voodoo or this and this and that? But I feel like this is something that you've almost you close out the fact that you have things in common with these individuals. You close out the fact that some of these individuals are incredibly intuitive and powerful just like you. And I don't think you, even though you want equality in a relationship, I don't think you look at it as equality in a relationship. It's very, very hard for you to almost like accept or digest that someone sees in you what you see in them. So they see exactly the reflection, right? They see exactly what you see in them, they see in you, vice versa. So they just see, they can calculate and feel all of that information. They can feel empathy towards your situation. They might not know exactly what's going on with you, but they feel your emotions. Okay, you might be a very hot-headed individual. It might be very hard for you sometimes to hold your cool, you know. But at the end of the day, whoever you're going to be dealing with in 2024, or continuously dealing with on and off, is a person who definitely feels for you. Okay, not a heartless, not a cold person, but definitely not somebody you're getting along with right now. Someone who's kind of pricking your skin or making your energy uncomfortable. Now, if not, if you are getting along with a person and you are in love with a person, essentially there's something wrong with how you're communicating that love. Okay. So how you're communicating is kind of confusing somebody. And that's what they want you to know. It's like you yourself are a very intelligent and unique individual. You've based a lot of your based a lot of your gut feelings off of logic versus what you feel. They want you to change that a little bit. They want you to start feeling things. Spirit wants you to start creating a healthy relationship through kind of exposing some of your past, some of your traumas, some of your hurt, some of your harm. Some of the past romantic situations need to be talked about, because I think essentially the person that you're going to be dealing with, or the person that you're dealing with right now, they don't know everything. They are confused. They are very confused. Though they know you're hurting and in pain, they don't know why. They don't know why you take certain things so to heart. They don't know why you get scared. Okay, to start clutching your pearls type shit. Like I pick up on somebody who like starts packing up their bags and running. They don't know why you get so skittish, so scared. And I think you should tell them your past. I think you should go more into depth about that, because I know it's an emotional journey, and you might be crying. You might be crying right now. You might start crying around this person. You might start feeling. And your biggest fear is that you'll feel when you're around this person. But I think that shouldn't be a fear. I think that's something that needs to be put on the table, like right the fuck now. I think you need to feel these things and experience these things. And I think that this is probably the only person that could bring this out of you. Genuinely, I do. Okay? I genuinely do. I genuinely feel like this person can bring you to a new level, a new edge, okay, of empathy. And I feel like that this is going to be the only thing that changes you to become more open and more accepting of yourself. Because the more you reject yourself, the more you reject others. Okay? You're like, well, these things don't affect me anymore. They're from my past. They're from my past. But they do. You know your past doesn't define you, but you also know your past shaped who you were within that moment. And because of that, you went through all this extra jumps, all these extra hoops. You fought for this, you fought for that. You fought in different relationships that you didn't want to fight in. You simply stood up for yourself and defended yourself, right? And so that's what you need to talk about, okay? How you've had to defend and fight, and how you don't need to really do that shit no more. But at the end of the day, you feel you still have that subconscious, fighting spirit of pushing people away and making sure that you have a good thick distance between you and individuals who love you. Lots of heart chakra being triggered right now too. Like with the Three of Swords card, you can even look at it and see it's like every single thing that somebody does or situate, every single thing that has been from your past has been triggered more recently. Okay, it's been dramatized, it's been looked at, it's been put under a microscope. You might be even possibly talking to someone and trying to get some help with something, and it feels like everyone's working against you, or feels like the tide is working against you, rolling in and kind of crushing you at every move that you try to make, where you try to stop feeling these emotions and stop feeling depressed and stop feeling down on your luck, down on your side. You get smashed with another tide, okay? Smashed with another wave. Like I say, it's very difficult. It's very hard, but I'm going to draw some more of these cards and see what's coming up for y'all. What else is coming up for y'all? Okay, so the tower. It's as simple as that. This is something that needs to change. It's something that will change no matter what. Regardless of what you're saying right now, right? Regardless of what you're saying right now. You could be like, well, at the end of the day, like, I don't think nobody can change my mind on romance. Nobody can change my mind about men who lie or women who lie or situations that lie. No one can change my mind. But I feel like you're going to be forced to change. Okay? The tower in the upright is change. Regardless of how you look at it, regardless of how you embrace it, you will find a way to fucking change that shit. Okay? It will change. It might feel awful at first, right? It might feel like, you kind of going through this mixed signals, mixed relationship, very angry, aggressive situation. You might be kind of fighting your own fighting your own love, basically. Like, you feel for someone. You are in love with somebody. Like, look at Don Bala real quick. Like, the snake, right? The red motherfucking snake. Red stands out, okay? Red is a very angry, mean color, but it's also a beautiful color, right? Anger can be beautiful. Anger can be calm, okay? Anger can be words, okay? Not raising your voice. Some of your anger, the way you cope with it, it needs to be changed, okay? And you need to communicate it thoroughly, but not through yelling, not through screaming, okay? It's going to change regardless. Master of the head. As you can see, this is kind of like spirit floating in, coming into to shape and make you more of like a softer individual. And I heard somebody just cringe when I said soft. It's like not soft in the means of weak. We're talking soft in the means of vulnerable. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you vulnerable. It's just that simple. Okay? Group 1, what else are y'all going to be dealing with? Group 1, it does look like your relationship with your body has kind of been on and off more recently. You've been kind of looking at yourself in the means of like, what could I change to make myself more happy? But I don't know if change is the best route to go. I think it's just a matter of perspective, perception. What can you wear? What can you what can you add into your current diet or adding to your current situation with your body that will make you feel more positive? Because I think a lot of it has to do with the way you dress, okay, the way you present yourself. I think you've maybe denied yourself access to certain things because of financial difficulties, or if not difficulties, then because you're frugal. Okay, you're not a big spender, you're frugal, you're trying to save up. But I feel like you definitely need to focus on this aspect of like looking how you feel, because though you feel like you might feel depressed right now, I don't feel like that's truly who you are. And I think you need to represent yourself through what you're wearing, through what you look like. Because you are just that person, okay? You are that. They talk about you being that bitch, you know what I mean? So like when I look at this card right here, it's somebody who can be very, very, very confident, okay? Especially when you start putting them threads on, okay? You very confident, very strong, very sexy. Might be form-fitting clothing, like very tight, thin clothing. They talk about that as well. Something that shows off like the muscles and the goods and shit like that. They talk about something very tight. You're like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm not really feeling it, whatever. Like, they talk about dressing up to dress up. Okay? Dress up to go to the fucking, go to the store. Like, it don't matter where the fuck you're going. Dress up. Get back to being yourself, basically. Get back to being confident. Okay, you know how you express, and it is through physicality. Like I said in the very beginning, it's through physicality, not just sex. Okay, we talking self-expression through wearing shit. All right. Another message for y'all is that, okay, so there is going to be situations in early 2024 where you're going to deal with, I want to say someone stealing from you. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a situation of literal. I do feel like it's more or less talking about figurative stealing, like maybe stealing your heart. Could be stealing some of your ideas when it comes to work. So maybe some of y'all been feeling like very, very, very cornered because maybe people just keep coming up with things that you already came up with, or using different names. But basically they're stealing ideas from you. Some people also might be stealing like attention away from you as well. It feels like within your family line, maybe somebody's trying to lie on you or shape and shift someone's view of you. But I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, and here's why. You a real bitch. Okay, that is what it is. Like I said, nobody can change necessarily who you are at the core. And I don't feel like whoever's lying or stealing or trying to steal the attention and steal the plot and steal your man and steal your woman, I don't think whoever is pretending like this has at all come close to like your level of honesty, your level of faith, your level of intuition. They're not even close, okay, to being you. So let's, whatever that whole situation is, let that shit go. Let that shit to the side. Because that person ain't never going to be you. It just is what it is. They ain't never going to be you. Coming in 2024, we also have new. You're cutting off old friends to make some new ones. Okay, and making some new ones might not always be like the literal meaning of going out and finding new friends. This to me looks like you're gonna be spending a lot of time at home and making friends, maybe through online, or you making friends through possibly doing spirituality. You making friends with the monsters under your bed type shit, or like, I think you're making friends with spirit. You making you trying to do more when it comes to spirituality. You're making a difference. They talk about possible pregnancies in 2024. Now, for some of y'all, that's not news. You're already pregnant. Some of y'all, you're already pregnant, or you're already trying to become pregnant. So it's not really news for you. Others of y'all are trying to. I think what you're trying to do is weigh out the odds. If you had a child right now, would it be the best for you in your financial situation? If you created a child, or maybe you're trying to like put your child into a program or put your child somewhere, it's like, would that be the best thing for us financially right now? And I feel like you're going to come to a consensus about that in 2023 or 2024, maybe in December. Honestly, you might come to a consensus about that. Maybe sending your kid off to college or whatever, or maybe you're trying to send yourself off to college because your parents couldn't do that for you, or they just didn't. And I do think that you will come to a consensus in that you do need college. You do need to move forward on this, or allow your child to move forward on this. Okay, you do need to allow change in whoever situation this is. Okay, so that's coming your. What else coming up for y'all? Another day, another dollar, another experience. Okay, so they said, there may be some things coming up with a female in your life. Might be a sibling. If not a sibling, then a mother, or grandmother, whoever it was that was your, or is your, the person that you used to look up to. And this might be a broken situation, a broken relationship, a broken record, something that has unfortunately ended in more recent times. It feels like whatever this tough situation is, it's taught you a lot. It's taught you a lot about self-respect, in which you can't respect yourself and also be around this female. You can't respect yourself and also be around whoever this toxic feminine is. You know that this person has been, they've treated you like you're less than, okay, bottom of the barrel type shit, and they've pushed you towards thinking some horrible things about yourself. Okay, they've almost tried to manipulate or control your view on yourself. And I just feel like whatever the situation is had to end in order for you to see value in yourself. Okay, and that might sound fucked up, but at the end of the day, that's how special, that's how loyal you were to this person's opinion, or loyal you were just in general to family, to family values. You're very loyal to this shit. It was very hard for you to give this up, or it's very hard for this situation to leave you. But you understand why it did and why it had to in order to spark change. 2024. Let's look one more time here. There's also things coming up here about how everything must go, right? Okay, so they're talking about maybe you're struggling with the aspect of moving, and I think it's because you've gotten so comfortable in one area, even if the area is not the best. Okay, this is not the best for you, and you know it's not the best for you. You know that you've been holding back on this move. You know you've been holding back on jumping locations, or going to a different job, or going to a different school. You know you've been holding back on this shit. And it's because you're like, well, I get really good pay here, or oh my God, like this situation, I'll never find something like this in my lifetime. Like this is something that I've been dedicating myself to. But I feel like you doubt yourself. Because at the end of the day, I do think you would come across this type of experience again. And I do think you would find a better experience if you left, if you moved away, if you challenged yourself into moving outside your comfort zone. Okay, I do think you will find something much better. And this could be even in the means of love. I do think if you moved on from this old person, from this old situation, that you would find something much better. You just doubt on yourself. You always look at yourself as like, very one track minded or like a very like, straight shooter, right? And you are a straight shooter, but at the end of the day, you gotta know that there's other things out there for you. There's other destinies, other fates, other paths for you. And you don't have to just accept what's in front of you just because it's in front of you. You know what I mean? Just because you're comfortable with it or trying to say that you're comfortable. I think you know that, if you want to change, you're going to have to revamp everything. Okay? Everything. Romance. Money. Okay? Job. Everything. Family. Like everything. Change is going to be really big for y'all in 2024. You become a totally different person or a totally different type of person. Okay, the way you looked at life prior to this has basically been disrupted or completely deleted. Okay, deleted, and I mean deleted. If you was wondering, there's a lot of y'all wondering too. You're like, well, will I find happiness in 2024? Will I find that relationship or that thing that I picked up on that zing type shit? They talk about yes, you are going to essentially find this shit in 2024, and I don't think that this is something that's going to happen for everyone either. I think this is just specific for group 1. So I'm just letting you know, yes, you have found it or you will find it in 2024, if that's what you was wondering. As far as signs go, they talk about air signs, so Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Okay. They talk about air signs. They also talk about fire signs, okay, or fire affected people. They definitely talk about you being able to be in a relationship where you feel respected, where you feel like the person is your equal, where this person actually allows you the space and the freedom to like move about and do your thing without finding distrust within you. Vice versa, you can actually trust this person when it comes to traveling, when it comes to moving in together, when it comes to having children. This is someone you can trust. In group 1, you find that motherfucker. I feel like it comes up in the strangest of fucking places too. It's nothing that you really expected, but it is something that ends up making you very, very, very happy. Okay? It's simplistic, it's raw, it's emotional, it's empathetic, it's intimate, it's sexy. Okay? And that's what you gotta know. Is it sexy? You will not miss out or lose out on this person whatsoever. I feel like this situation is gonna come. It's going to come in fast as a friendship, but I don't think it's going to develop into a relationship until much later into 2024. Okay? It's something where I feel like it takes a long time for you to really trust this person to open up to them. You need to see this person or meet this person in person. So this might be a long distance relationship, something you have to travel to. Or maybe it's possible that someone you haven't met before or had gone on a date before, is coming in. And you want to be able to do that, man. Talking online a lot, but not really seeing this person in person because you're shy. Okay, I realized that about this group. Even though y'all very hardcore, you're also very, very shy. So that's what's up with y'all. Group 1, lots of love, lots of romance, lots of positivity in that area of your life, and in which you've never really experienced before. It does look like everything else is doing pretty well, including finances, including money in 2024. New opportunities will be coming through to you in 2024, but you're gonna have to almost like break. I think you're gonna have to break chains on a couple people's asses, because if you work with other people, if you work in groups especially, you're gonna have to kind of alter the way these people look at you, because I don't think they respect you as a leader or as a co-signer or as a co. You know what I mean? I don't think they respect your time. I don't think they respect the amount of money that you actually put into whatever this job is. And especially, like I said, if you're like a co-owner, co-manager, or you're somebody who's on top, but you also have other co-workers or employers that are involved with the situation, I do think that you need to have some conversations about moving forward alone. And that might be very hard for this person to swallow, but that is what needs to happen. That is what needs to happen. What the fuck is this person talking about? What is this person? Y'all, hold on. Let me. Both of them. Damn, I didn't know I was sex trafficked. Jesus. All right. So group 2. Let me clear out group 1 real quick. Group two. Group two, group two. Let's get some music up. We start in group two at 59. Let me put that in. Okay, at 59. All right. Group two, self work. Okay, so you've been on this journey of self. Um, I don't think it. No, do I think it's been a while, like a couple years? Yes, but I don't think it's been so long that you don't still have kind of like this void or um, it's like yearning for growth or yearning for knowledge, yearning for like a real actual awakening, yearning for your purpose. You know, I feel like group two has been getting rid of a lot of the trashiness in their life, a lot of the drama, a lot of the pretentiousness, a lot of the sly, snide ass motherfuckers who come up in your shit and try to ruin it or stomp on your happiness. You definitely been in this pressure of, well, you know, I need to be good for my kids, or I need to be good for my family, or I need to be better for myself, or I need to be treated better within the workplace. I need to be better. Okay, it's like a lot of shit surrounding like, if I don't upgrade right now, then I'll miss out on my opportunities, or I'll miss out on my life. You're very afraid of missing out on life because of your recent situations within life. So, you know, a lot of y'all are kind of chasing this very heavy pressure around your neck to be this perfect individual. And I feel like you have to take breaks in between that, right? The perfect people take breaks. They do. Okay? They take vacations. Okay? Perfect people, they they need some sort of peace, right? Your life can't always be chaos. It can't always be all over the fucking place. Like, you can't always have something interesting going on. Sometimes comfort is okay. Okay? Sometimes exiting some of these I feel like obligations or responsibilities is okay, but doing it in a way that you have everything kind of like tied up and everything's reassured, and you know you got your money good, you got your situation with your physical all good and your emotions all good. Like, I think you guys just need a break. Group two. There's certain things that I think kind of dictate, and having children will do this, but they kind of dictate whether you leave or stay in a situation. But this could also be like a relationship dictates, you know, you and where you go and how you move and what you wear, and it's like a lot of control issues, right? And I think that it's been very, very difficult for group two to admit that this is a control issue, a control situation in which you want to be fully and completely like OCD about shit, or someone is trying to be OCD over you. And I think it's kind of created a very toxic mindset in which you think you can't enjoy life, or you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to do the things that you want to do. You're not allowed to change or be true to yourself, and your body. I pick up on a lot of like shame within sexual situations, where you're like shaming yourself about your body, or shaming yourself about sex, and how much sex you have or who you're having sex with. Like, you shame yourself a lot, and it's like people have love languages, and I feel like your love language just happens to be sex. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you a hoe. It don't make you any different from anybody else. It's pretty ordinary, in fact, and that's the type of life you should be chasing. Even though you want to be big and great, you first have to be ordinary, right? First have to be ordinary. Like, I wouldn't say you've had just a completely ordinary life, obviously. Otherwise, this shit would be, you know, much less dramatic and more straight shoot. Okay, but I feel like you've almost just barely accepted the fact that your life will never, ever, ever be exactly what you want it to be. Meaning you'll never have the perfect of everything, right? You'll never have the man or woman who's gonna be there, ride or die. Like you, it feels like to me, you've almost just blindly accepted that instead of looking for it. You've accepted the fact that you might potentially be like single for the rest of your life, or you might potentially be just like that boss bitch, and you're gonna just stay that boss bitch. Like no one could add up to or match up to what you're putting on the table. But I feel like that's wrong. I feel like that's wrong. You know, when people say that there's someone out there for everyone, now do I believe that? No, I don't think there's people out there for certain types of individuals, for especially for narcissistic people, because they never get sick and tired of playing with people's lives and fucking them up and lying to people and lying on people. But what I will say about y'all in group two is that you've been dealt with your fair share of narcissistic individuals, and that's why you've come to a stopping point and kind of just rolled over and been like, well, I'll never find anyone, or I'll never find a situation that makes me happy, right? That's why you've kind of blindly just accepted that. Okay, is dealing with narcissism, dealing with narcissistic individuals, dealing with people who only care about themselves. They only give a damn about what's going on in their life, and they don't give a damn about you. Okay, they only give a damn about what they do selfishly in the background. They only give a damn about, you know, what other people think of them. They don't give a damn about you at all. Okay, they don't care for your opinion either, right? They kind of have you there to look good type shit. And I feel like, you know, I think this person means it when they say that you trigger them, or you push them, or you make them feel some type of way. I think this person genuinely means it when you intimidate somebody, or when you're kind of mad at somebody or angry with somebody. I feel like you can be petty, right? I feel like group two, you have pettiness within you, built within you. It's just a defense mechanism. You deflect using pettiness, and sometimes this can come off to other people as I would say a a flaw. But I feel like this is something that with you, like what you say, like the words that you say, the words that you speak, or, you know, you might swear a lot. Like they talk about someone very specific in speech. You might have an accent as well. But you're meant to be a dominant force within the relationship. You're meant to be that dominant person who is running the relationship. You're meant to have power in the relationship, okay? Just like the other person is meant to have power, you know, especially if you're a woman, very strong personality woman, or single mother, or you're just somebody who you have a lot of self-respect. You're meant to be strong. You need to stay strong too, and you need to stay fucking positive and get your head out of your ass, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, there is someone out there for you, and I want to make that clear. Romantically, emotionally, family wise, there is that out there for you. Okay. Accept the fact that you will find one day, at one point, people who love you and accept you for you, and nothing but you. Okay. So the two cards that I picked out for y'all was Shadow Self and Embrace Your Darkness. Okay. And I think darkness is maybe, you know, when you think about the fucked up sides to yourself, right? And it might be you have simple flaws, like maybe you have an addiction problem, maybe you have OCD, maybe you're very controlling, maybe you're very self-centered. Whatever the factor is, this darkness that I'm talking about is not evil, right? It's not ill intentions, it's not ill will. It's something that can limit you, yes, but also if you use it correctly, it can magnify and exemplify your situation. Basically, it can help you with manifestation. It can help you ground yourself. You're always gonna be that person, group two. You're always gonna be a little bit petty, a little bit on the petty side, a little bit on the rocky side. You know, you're always gonna have an attitude. You're always going to be that person with a personality. You're not a quiet person. You know, you state your pace. Okay, you find your way. And I think that that's beautiful, because at the end of the day, you don't let anyone govern that fiery personality of yours. And I'm not saying you're a fire sign. I'm just saying you have a very, very, very passion-driven relationship with yourself, and other people. You call people out on their shit big time. Okay, you are someone who's loved because you call people out Okay, so I'm just saying you love because you tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God, and you're very passion driven. But sometimes you say things you don't mean. Okay, sometimes you say things you don't mean. Okay, because you've gotten rid of some of these toxic relationships in your life, and this doesn't have to be anywhere specific, whether it be romantic or family wise or friend wise. Um, I think you're dealing with the residuals, right? You're tackling the residuals of the past, or tackling with the residuals of who you had to deal with in a romantic relationship. And because you're tackling the residuals, you're also kind of finding these traits in new people, even though they're not really there. It's kind of like something in your head where you're like, oh fuck, like, here it goes again. Like, you kind of self sabotage a lot. You're like, here we go again. Even though the person is trying to be kind to you or sweet to you, you self sabotage. Okay, group two. Okay, and I don't think that is always a bad thing, but I also believe that you're stopping yourself from like true potential within relationships. Okay, I do think that you're probably not at the point where you're grounded enough for a romantic, full on romantic connection, but I do think you're grounded enough to kind of embrace the fact that yes, you are a little sassy, you're a little salty, you're a little passion driven, right? You're loud and proud and stubborn, right? But you are just as romantic and sexy and sweet and kind as the next person. You truly are. You truly are. Like, if anything, people will be lucky to have you. And I know that type of confidence can sometimes be viewed as toxic, but I think it's a really, really, really good thing for you to maintain that positivity about yourself. People would be really, really lucky to know you and to love you and to know your humor, because y'all are really fucking funny. Group two, y'all can be playful. Y'all are really funny. You're very sarcastic. People love that shit about you too. Okay, there's so many lovable traits about you, and you just need to know that in 2024 those lovable traits are going to be highlighted. Okay, like the things that you kind of dislike about yourself, or feel fucked up about, they're going to be highlighted. They're going to be like the main attraction for majority of people's. Okay, so if you kind of, you haven't had the best relationship with your own emotions or your attitude, or maybe it's a physical thing like your voice or your body or your mind, you haven't had the best relationship recently, it's going to be highlighted, and it's going to be treated like it's going to be put on a pedestal. Okay, I'm going to highlight that shit. I think there's also a thing with like y'all in confrontation, group two. And I think that you've confronted a lot of your demons, but there's still some kind of lurking around in the background. And I don't know if it's a person, or maybe it's trauma, right? PTSD is things that you have dealt with already, or feel like you are done with, but you're not quite done with yet. And I feel like that's also something that's coming up with your outstanding self-work, with your self-work experience. Y'all have been very hesitant on um, inviting in a new person, a new relationship. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the primary because I feel like y'all are very passion driven. So you're very love focused. You love love. You just can't help it. You can't help the fact that you love love. Even though you want to stay cold, you want to stay hurt at somebody, you still love love. You just can't help that fact. Okay, so I feel like it's a almost like a curse for y'all, because I think you always begin things being very, 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 very like rose colored glasses, like group two. It's like, it's not that you get dumb around love or get dumb around things when it comes to the heart. It's just the fact that you want to fully embrace someone as they are, as who they are. You might have Cancer in your chart somewhere very strong, because Cancers happen to do this. They don't judge people. Okay, you don't judge anyone from their background. You don't judge anyone. Even though you might be a silent judge, you just don't, you're not going to sit there and chastise someone or try to fight somebody about themselves. They are who they are, and you kind of just accept that shit too. It is what it is. You don't judge people, especially for the past, because you've been through it too. You push yourself through a lot of different fucking shit. Yeah, people have put you through a lot of different shit. So you have no room to judge, right? Right, group two? Right? But like, it's very hard for y'all to come to terms with the fact that, like, I don't think you want to be judged. Okay? I think the reason why you kind of be doing that artificial sweetener type shit, artificial sweetness in the beginning of a relationship, or in the stages of the relationship that kind of mean the most, y'all, like where y'all really need to be real, is because you're afraid of being rejected. You're afraid of someone rejecting you, or afraid of someone making you feel self-conscious. Okay, you're afraid of someone taking down your confidence again. You're afraid of sacrificing the people you care about to a person who doesn't appreciate. Okay, so that's what's going on with y'all. And now we're gonna get the cards out. Y'all are a very, very sweet group. Even though y'all try to deny that fact, or you have a really tough relationship with like accepting the fact that you are just a lover, you guys are lovely ass motherfuckers. You are passion driven, very cutesy, and you try your best to, I think, accept everybody. That's why you have a larger group of friends. If not a larger group of friends, then everyone really likes you when they first meet you. They think you're funny as fuck. The sarcasm too. People love that shit. Even though that can sometimes be a deflection of the truth. So be careful with that. Be careful with that. Y'all have a lot of words for a lot of people. Let me take a sip. Let me take another sip. All right, group 2. Nostalgia. Okay. So y'all's first situation with these cards is talk about nostalgia. Let's see. It's the Star. Okay, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. So nostalgia. You probably are dealing with a situation right now. You might be talking to someone from your past. If you're not talking to someone from your past, and you're talking about someone who reminds you of the past, could be an air sign. So since we have the Star, it could be an Aquarius actually, or it could be someone that's coming in 2024. So this could be a situation that is like basically, it's been in passing, where I feel like you might know an individual, or you might know who I'm talking about. You just never thought of them that way. Okay? You never thought of them that way. You never thought of them being a supportive or loving person towards you. You never thought of them in a romantic relationship. You never really thought of them like caring for you or loving on you or putting you first as the priority. You never really thought about that. And that can also be your relationship with yourself. You never really thought you would get to this point where you could say that you love yourself, where you are yourself, where you accept yourself. You never thought you could, okay? You never thought you could. The reason why they talk about nostalgia so much, though, is because you're saying things that you used to say in the past a lot. It's negativity. It's coping. Like, you used to probably say in the past a lot that, like, you hate everybody, or you hate the world, or you hate this person, you hate that person, or you hate what you were given, right? Because you don't feel like you were given anything valuable while growing up. Like, you used to say a lot of stupid shit, but not even really realizing where that would put you mentally and physically. What type of relationship you would start accepting into your life, what type of toxicity you would accept into your life because you were saying some negative, down bad shit, or that's how you treated your life. Though you didn't, I don't think this is something you showed outwardly, like the negativity, but I do think it's something you used to say to yourself, or kind of repeat to yourself. And I do also think that, the people around you that were supposed to be influential influenced you towards more an addictive personality, or a personality that would be more open, I think, to dealing with narcissism. Okay, if that makes sense, right? You were way more open to dealing with narcissism because you either dealt with an addict or you were an addict at some point. All right, and so they talk about this challenge with, or struggle with addictions, and they talk about how this affected your relationship with, it's like you almost had what is it, what do they call that? God damn it, what do they call that? Maybe they show it. No. You had addiction to money or financial stability. Not that. It's not just that. What is it? Oh, you thought of relationships or romance as a financial transaction. Okay, and it doesn't have to be financial literally like that, it means like you thought of love itself as a transaction. It was transactional. If I'm not getting this and this and this and this from this person, then I'm not going to give this and this and this and this to this person. Okay? You thought of it as a financial transaction in some type of way. Ah, man, to me it feels like is falsehoods, right? And maybe your parent was the one who instilled this type of relationship within your life, which is like if you don't take care of this person, right? They're gonna threaten you and they're gonna reject you and they're gonna hate you. But if you take care of this person, then suddenly they love you, right? That's what it feels like. I don't like that at all, because to me it feels like a codependency, heavy codependency too. It's not something where I could say like you felt loved at any time. Okay, I think you felt fear of being rejected, fear of being alone. Okay, fear of being misguided, or fear of being the black sheep. That's what it feels like to me. Fear of being the black sheep. So a lot of the time you try to force yourself into these tight situations with people that you knew didn't respect you, didn't love you, didn't trust you, and probably would never be able to do that because of their issues, mentally or emotionally, or with alcohol, or because I pick up on addiction really heavy with y'all. You knew they could never love you the way you needed to be loved. You worked almost overtime to prove to these people that you were trustworthy, prove to these people that you were that person, or that stability, or that I pick up on linebacker energy where they're like, I'll carry you to the finish line. I promise you I will. Or I'll become better than you. I promise I will. Or I will be great. I will make my family greater than what I started out with. I promise I will. Like you made a lot of promises to yourself that maybe possibly look far away right now. Okay, it looks far away, but I don't think it is. I think 2024 kind of tells you and proves, instead of trying to prove to other people what you're capable of, I think you start proving to yourself what you're capable of. And it's a lot more than what your expectations were and are right now. Okay, a lot more. You're no longer brainwashed. That's another thing that's coming up for group too. You're no longer fucking brainwashed. I think you were brainwashed into believing that you were you're bound to be a failure, or you're bound to go down with everybody, or you're bound to crash and burn. But that's just not the case. Okay? That's not the case at all. In fact, I see y'all building such a large empire, whether this be like just building a household, being able to buy your house, being able to put your kids in that house, and have your man, have your woman, and being able to have a very healthy family dynamic. This is like the empire that anyone, not just anyone, could create. Okay, not just anyone. I feel like only people like you. Okay, you're different. Okay, all the groups are different, but y'all are different. Y'all are different. It's hard to chase something that you've never ever seen in your life. You've never seen this type of stability. You've never seen a healthy relationship. You've never seen it. Okay. And so to chase something that's never been seen is like a dream. And sometimes it's hard to believe your dreams. It's hard to believe that this is your reality. It's hard to believe that you have this much responsibility on your fucking shoulders. It's hard to believe that. It's really hard. Okay? It's really hard to also be on your own. Okay? But you killing it. Like, that's what I want you to know, is that even though you're on your own, you still killing it on your own. Right? You might want for somebody. You might want for someone to share your pain. But I think you having this pain on your own and pushing through it and being triumphant through it by changing your life and changing the lives around you. Maybe y'all feel like, to me, you change lives around you. That is just who you are. You do. Okay? Your dynamic with yourself, it teaches a lot of different people how to cope and digest with life. Okay? And I think you accidentally teach people things too. if that makes sense. So you also might be just a very influential person in life in general. You might also have a child who follows every single little thing that you do, or will be just like you type shit, or is just like you. So maybe that scares you. It might scare you, actually. Yeah, it might scare you. What else is coming up for group 2? They keep talking about this Aquarius. Okay, they keep talking about this Aquarius, and even though Aquarius means self-love, this to me feels like a fucking person. Aquarius feels like an individual. It feels like somebody who's coming in. They said twin flame. They gotta stop with this shit. Because like when you think of twin flame, and this is always some cornball shit when other readers talk about the shit. It's like, okay, obviously there's people out there that you can get into relationships with. There's obviously connections out there that you can make, but to really digest a relationship as large as what they say a twin flame is, you have to be in the exact correct place in life, in your mind, in your emotions, in your body, in your money, to actually accept something of this level, right? And like I said, you might not feel like you're really at that level yet, but I think fucking life is gonna prove you wrong, or spirit's gonna fucking prove you wrong, because whoever this Aquarius is that's coming in for you, it's like this is just such a different man or woman than what's expected, or from what you expected. I think you expected narcissism. I think you expected a person with ego, with no grace, with like a very, I feel like angry to me, or it feels like overly compensated. But that's not what you end up getting. You end up getting something calm. Okay? Something that is, it's not fast paced. Very, very, very slow moving. It doesn't feel like you're going to be in a serious relationship in 2024. And if you're already in a serious relationship, then it just feels like that connection is going to slowly deepen. It's going to slowly change for the better, for the better. Okay, but if you're not in a relationship right now, and I'm primarily talking to y'all that have been single for a long time, or for a while, at least 2 years, right? What I am seeing is that whoever this person is coming in is they're gonna move very, very slow, and you're gonna move slow with them. I think you're gonna actually trust them moving forward. I think you're gonna actually be able to hold their hand type shit, and be intimate with the individual without jumping into things. This person respects you. You know, they're very intellectual. I think this is gonna start out as a long-term friendship. That, or it's already somebody that you know of. Okay? But they make you feel loved. For sure. They make you feel loved. And that's the primary. In loving yourself, sometimes we don't know how. So when we meet people that love us, all we can do is lead by example, right? We are given advice, we are given examples indirectly by spirit. And sometimes that's through hardship, and sometimes that's through beautiful fucking relationships. And it helps you learn how to treat yourself better. Right? You might be at the peak of what you can do right now alone, right? Or you might feel like you're at the peak. But just meeting someone like this, or meeting someone who's this influential, can bring a lot of stability, right? That you never thought was in you, or that you could possibly grasp onto. Okay, and it's definitely something to do with divine timing. Like I said, I don't think you're gonna be in this relationship in 2024, and we are focusing a lot on romance, so I'm gonna switch over to money. But like, I don't think you're gonna be in this relationship in 2024. But I do think you will be talking to this individual actively in 2024. And I do think that this could develop into a long-term relationship, as long as you are open to the possibility of someone being a lot calmer and a lot more sensitive than what you thought prior. Okay, this is going to be a sensitive individual. This is not going to be no strong macho, or no woman that's going to be like, overly dominant. Okay, no man or no woman that's overly dominant. It's definitely somebody who's more on the sensitive scale. And you got to just be open to this shit. Because like I said, I think that this person's strong in all different type of way. And you're just going to have to roll with the shit. Because like I said, this person, it's going to change your life. Okay? Now okay, so there are things coming in financially that I do feel like is kind of a warning or a red flag. There is people kind of writing you off possibly when it comes to the workspace, writing you off as somebody who might not be prepared for the job, or might oh my god, might not be. I see the dyslexia getting in my mind type shit. Might not be prepared for the job. Someone's second guessing you, or there might be a group of people who's second guessing you within your ability to start your own business. But it's definitely on the level. It's such small criticisms that actually do get under your skin, though. So group two. I'm not saying this. I'm not telling you that you're overreacting, but I'm telling you that whatever these people are saying is so minute, it's so small, and has such a small impact or effect on your life that I think you just need to keep rolling with what's ahead. Like, you just need to ignore these people. Okay, they don't understand you. They don't understand anything you've been going through or have gone through. Whatever their criticisms is about your work and what you do on the low, that's none of their fault. That should not even be coming off the tip of their tongue. And at the end of the day, they gonna get their karma for talking about you, for talking shit, for trying to push you down, to make you believe shit that just ain't fucking true. And then try to put you in positions that are lower than what you're actually capable of. They got their motherfucking karma. Don't you worry. I just think that it's so unnecessary for these people to be going on and on and on and on about your stability. They need to look in the fucking mirror. And that's what I think needs to happen in 2024 to the people that have been trying to push you down and trying to make you feel lesser and trying to, suppress you, depress you and suppress you. They're getting their karma. Okay? That's what I see. Karma's big. And they talk about, they said something about possibly whoever is getting the karma might be a Leo, or someone who's on a Leo cusp, or someone with strong fire sign in their chart. So they getting their shit. Don't worry. Okay. They talk about financial ruin with an ex-partner or possibly an ex-spouse. So someone's going through financial ruin, or a Leo is going through financial ruin. They talk about a Cancer. A Cancer is gonna go could try to come back to you into creating this relationship, but how that's gonna fail, just based on you already know what this person's about. You've seen everything this person has to offer, and I feel like you've seen that this person's a player. You've seen that they a bum, and I don't think you need to accept that anymore into your life. I think that's over with. I think that phase of like accepting lesser than what you're capable of is over. Okay? Like, you might have to restart all over in what you perceive as relationships, or what you perceive as attractive, but I don't think that that's going to pose a problem. I think people coming at you and coming for your neck and being aggressive towards you is going to be a problem, though. Okay? And in 2024, I think people going to get real mad at being rejected by you. And I think that that's going to be kind of ironic in a way, because you spent your whole life chasing people like this. And finally, it's like starting to turn the other way, okay? It's starting to mirror. It's starting to become that person's actually going to start chasing after you type shit. And you're going to be completely to yourself and completely over the situation and doing your thing, okay? That's what's up. You're just going to be plain honest finally with yourself, which is really good. Damn. All right. So also group 2. There are things coming up with y'all taking vacations. Okay. So this is not I'm not gonna say this is not a permanent move situation. So if you thought that was gonna happen in 2024, or at least in the first quarter of 2024, I don't think so. Okay, what's going to happen, though, is I see vacations. So I see situations where you're going to be able to travel or take someone up on travel advice. Possibly, like, they talk about cruises, or they talk about flying out somewhere, like going far enough away to where you're seeing, like, an all different culture, all different social norms. It's just a complete different situation. I think you need this refresher. So if this is like a business trip or something you're not sure on because you don't want to leave possibly like your family unit behind, I think that you should go on this trip, essentially. Arrange whatever you need to arrange, but I think you need to go on this trip. I think it's something that's very, very important to your emotional growth, your spiritual growth. I think you need a new view of life. I think it's very, very, very important that y'all, like, you start getting introduced to different cultures and different social norms, because I think you almost are going to play that part within your work life. So whatever you end up doing in work, you might be a spiritualist, or you could be somebody who wants to work with kids, or a therapist, or you're someone who works with a lot of people all the time. Like, you're constantly having to deal with new people and socialize. Or that's going to be your future, especially in 2024, is you're going to have to socialize a lot with different types of peoples. And I think once you learn this aspect of life, of work, you become a little bit more educated on a situation or scenario, that it's really gonna heighten a lot of your output when it comes to doing things like public speaking or socializing with even romantic partners. Like, if you have been struggling with communicating or conversating with people, it's gonna change in 2024. Okay, it's gonna change. It will. It'll be forced to change. And I think it's primarily it's going to be through travel. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Okay, so some of y'all are trying to grow your finances in order to move, in order to leave. A lot of people are trying to move. But I think you're trying to either move, or there's also something to do with trying to purchase some kind of maybe like a apartment or a vehicle. They talk about purchasing something. So, and I don't think it's forever. I think it's temporary. So whatever home you choose next will be temporary, or whatever apartment you choose next will be temporary, but it's just to get you on your feet until you can get to the point where you are monetarily and I think emotionally stable enough in order to purchase a home or purchase a car. So whatever you're borrowing or having to borrow, it will all come back to you. Okay, if you always wonder, like, oh my God, like, I feel so stupid right now because I'm having to borrow this, I'm having to borrow this loan, take out this and take out that, whatever it is, it's gonna come back to you. Okay, you are the type of person to dot your I's and cross your T's, so I wouldn't even be necessarily worried about, like, y'all not having enough funds or not having enough money. I think you guys just kind of are the types of people where you can, like, make money appear, basically, and disappear and reappear type shit. So you just that type of bitch, okay? And that's what's coming in for you. Okay, so they talk about so they talk about in 2024 there's sexual relationships being highlighted. I think it's sexual relationships where it's like you might be trying your best to stay out of serious relationships for a while because there's the new responsibility that's just come up for you. Okay, and that new responsibility could just be taking care of yourself and your own mental. But I feel like it might be a little bit bigger than that. There might be a little bit more to the story. But they do talk about y'all kind of only getting into sexual situations in 2020, in early 2024. But I feel like you're gonna meet someone through having sex or friends with benefits or meeting people who kind of are more on a sexual basis. You know what I mean? It's like maybe a regular meetup every couple of months type shit where y'all have sex. I don't think like you're someone who demands that type of relationship out of anybody, but I think you kind of just find it and stumble into it. And if you've been struggling a little bit with your body and how you perform intimately, I think that this is something that will boost your confidence quite a bit. And I don't think it's negative at all. I think it's a mutual agreement. I think you're very adult or mature about it. And I think whatever the situation may entail, whether it be maybe a sexual or a friendship situation, it's definitely going to raise you kind of out of this depth of being like, oh my God, like, I keep accepting friends with benefits instead of accepting a full-on relationship, or I don't have time for a full relationship, I don't have time to get to know somebody. It's going to change that about you. You're really going to change on that opinion. I think you're going to change over into kind of being a little bit more open, especially since you meet someone through these sexual situations or scenarios. Yeah, you meet someone who makes you feel sexy again, who makes you feel attractive. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, so some of y'all might be possibly dealing with some legalities or something to do with like higher justice. So whether it be legalities or the police or something to do with like a higher power, higher legalities or your boss or something like that, okay? So whatever's going through the court system, whatever's going through with paperwork, whatever's going through with like you've been struggling for a long time to get that divorce, or to get away from that lease, get away from that apartment, get away from that car, or that loan. That situation is going to be settled. Okay, early 2024. It will be settled. It will be done with. Okay, whatever you got to pay off, you're going to pay it off. Whatever you're going to sign, you're going to sign. Whatever you need to get in order to become stable, you are going to achieve that. You're going to get that. Okay, so whatever paperwork you've had it forever and you haven't been able to fill that shit out, you haven't had the time to look at the status of certain things, that's something that's going to come to you early 2024. Okay, so all of the things that you've been waiting on in order for you to continue your journey, that is coming right the fuck now, right? We got December. Like all we have is 1 month after November, and y'all already in 2024, and I think y'all are already going to be in that stage of like, oh, everything's kind of working out for me. Like the dominoes are finally falling. Like I'm finally getting that fucking paperwork done. I'm finally getting that loan situation handled. I'm finally getting the finances that I need to move on, right? Because I feel like this has been going on for a long time or forever. It feels like almost drawn out forever because people have been stubborn with you. Um, they also talk about possibly someone in your life that um, you've had a very rocky relationship with this person with addiction. Um, and I think it's going back to what we kind of talked about before, where you've come from a past of addiction. So the people that in your life were that were addicted to alcohol, drugs, or working, even addicted to money and working or gambling, whatever it is, like that situation, I feel like is going to get a little bit more complicated in 2024, or that person is going to get a little bit more complicated. It's possible that this person might be losing their mind, or there's something to do with like it kind of reminds me of being drunk or dementiated or something like that. There's someone like having trouble with memory or keeping their story straight, or someone who lies a lot. Okay, someone who just constantly lies. It does seem like this person will maybe come to you possibly in confidence, but you might be questioned to help this individual. You might question yourself whether you should help this individual or get them put in line with it or in contact with somebody who can. I would say it's going to be your best bet to maybe stay out of the situation or keep yourself protected. Most of all, keep yourself protected. Keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself protected. If you feel like you're getting too close to the fire, then step back. Okay? Take a break and step back. With vacations, they talk about visiting islands. Possibly visiting islands or hotter areas, hotter places, warmer places, visiting the beach or going on a cruise or something of that nature for a vacation. They said, the further away that you can get, the better. Okay, the further away that you can get, the better. So if you've been trying to travel for something, you have to go state to state, or you have to go to another country in some type of way, then I would do that. Okay, I would absolutely do that. Do not delay that. Do not delay that. Even if you feel like, oh my God, like, wow, this is kind of a waste of money, you're a little bit frugal. Do not sit there and debate about it. Just go, right? Just go. Just fucking go. You'll be okay. Your responsibilities will be okay. Everything will be there when you get back home, type shit. Just go. All right. So, group 2. That's y'all's experience. Y'all are very, 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 like, you guys got it set up, and I don't think you realize how set up you have this shit. Like, I don't think you realize how much work you put into this shit. I don't think it's really hit you yet. I don't think your responsibilities and all that. I think your responsibilities prevent you from realizing where you are at right now in life. Okay, it has not hit you yet how good you are. Okay, I just really think that you guys need to start appreciating yourself a little bit more, giving yourself breaks a little bit more. You're like, well, the moment I break is the moment everything goes wrong. I just don't think that that's the case anymore. I think you think that because in the past, when you would do smaller things, you'd always get sabotaged or taken down by people around you, and that includes family, right? You've always been sabotaged, but that's just not the case anymore. You need to end that cycle, right? End that cycle and celebrate. Just allow yourself to fucking celebrate. Stop fighting it. All right, we're gonna switch to decks. So that's group 2. And by the way, group 2, I forgot to tell you the item that I picked out from my altar for y'all was it's a frog. Okay, it's a if y'all never seen these toys before, it's like a frog, a wooden frog where you can play that, and it kind of sounds like a ribbit or whatever. But I'm not sure what frogs mean spiritually exactly. But you know, then there's also the colors of yellow and black on here, but I'm not sure what they mean spiritually. Might want to look that shit up, or maybe there's something to do with like how a frog maybe like speaks, or reminds me of like a bullfrog. Y'all know how bullfrogs will literally eat their own kind? Like they'll literally eat their own kind, or they eat things like 10 times larger than them type shit. That's what I feel like y'all do. I feel like y'all have the capability, like you are a small fish in a fucking small ass pond, but at the end of the day, you can eat so much bigger, or you can achieve so much bigger with simply by speaking up for yourself, simply by confronting certain actions and certain things in your life, simply by, you know, asserting your continuously asserting your dominance. The ADHD is starting to kick in, y'all. I need myself another drink. It's starting to pop up. All right. So that's what's going on with y'all. You know, y'all are small fish in the pond, but you don't realize how much you could eat. Girl, boy, you don't realize how much you can eat. All right. So let me get this situated over here. Let's start moving some of these over so that we can get group 3. Group 3, y'all. Oh man, y'all's is gonna be a fun read. Y'all's is gonna be a fun read because y'all's is all about that spiritual shit. Same with group 4. Y'all's shit is gonna be very spiritually based. Get my drinks in. Little apple cider. If y'all ain't first of all, if y'all ain't from New York or around New York, or you don't get that cold weather, then you don't understand how hot cider feels. Hot cider is the best fucking shit in the world. I love cider. I live right next to an apple farm there. They sell that shit. And cider is amazing. Yeah, it always brings me back type shit. And right now, actually, from this view that I'm looking at, I can see the moon like very strongly. She's shining. She's shining. I feel like maybe that's a little bit of a reflection for group 3. Because the first message, and I'm going to read this out again. The first message for group 3 was born again. And we ain't talking about born again Christian. You might be. Okay, maybe that's your situation. But we talking about someone who's being reincarnated or born again, or you are a reflection of somebody of the past. Okay? And this could simply be your own parents. But I feel like it's more than that. I truly do. And you might not be a strong believer in that shit, but I'm just saying. So group 3 is we're gonna start. Let's just say 1:46 is the timestamp for group 3. 1:46, 1 hour and 46 minutes. Let me see, 1 hour and 46, and I'll correct the timestamps later on as well. 1 hour and 46. All right. Hour and 46. So let me get my other deck out as well. I'll correct all of the timestamps, y'all. Don't worry. All right. I picked up on Hispanic household, or what's that song? Living la vida loca, living the life type shit. I picked up on that song. Okay, I also picked up on people who have y'all have like either it's like Santeria or some type of spiritual background already. So maybe your parent has a spiritual background, maybe your parent uses magic, or maybe you have had a grandparent that used to use magic in some type of, you had a little flare up in that shit, a brujeria or whatever the fuck y'all be using. Y'all got a background for sure. Like, and you don't understand. Like, your background is extensive. This is not something where I'm saying like, oh, it's lightly. Like, y'all was a kitchen witch, kitchen bitch. Y'all like you have family members that fully believed in the shit. Like, fully had the shit. People cutting chicken heads off and shit. Like that type. So you guys have that background. Like, that is very much instilled into. It's not who you are presently, but it's definitely instilled into your blood. Okay, so it's not might not be who you are. You might not be totally defined by that. You might have, maybe a simplified version of what your ancestors and your past people have practiced, but you definitely have it still within you. And I think that also creates like a lot of room for the manifestations, a lot of room for like kind of y'all don't even realize when you saying prayers, or you don't even realize when you are like magnifying a situation spiritually. You don't realize when you're bringing karma to the table type shit. Excuse me. So one of the things I wanna start with is the reincarnation piece. I know that's kind of confusing to some people because they're like, oh, what does reincarnation mean? And I think they just mean an energetically. So meaning you've had a parent or a grandparent or maybe a great grandparent that has almost identical behaviors as you. Okay, so they act like you in some type of way, or you act like them, or there's something to do with like y'all have carried the torch further. It's like, okay, so maybe your great grandmother carried the torch, and then she carried it to your grandmother, and then she carried it to your mother, type shit. I don't know why the fuck my table just started vibrating. God damn. But someone was carrying the torch. Okay, someone was carrying the torch. They talk about that being like your childhood, or how that maybe had defined your childhood, in which like it's like a superstition define your childhood. A lot of people who were superstitious in your family, or a lot of people who come from very strong strong lineage, I will say. They talk about kings and queens, but that doesn't have to be the specific position. That could just mean that you come from a bloodline that is very pure. Okay, that is very pure. Like, they know who they were. They had first practices. They had separate practices from many types of folks, but most of all, they made it their own, or they define themselves in some type of way. That doesn't mean they're good people, by the way. I just let me clarify, group 3, is that doesn't mean they were good people. So, though we're talking about this, and we talked about group 3 a little bit earlier, about how y'all have defined your own life. You have paid for your own path. You have followed your own. You followed the sound of your own motherfucking drum, and you don't really care that nobody else around you really approves of that. Though you do still kind of have that inclination for spirituality, that inclination for embracing your intuition. You don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. At the end of the day, you're gonna use it in your own way, and so that's something that's very, very special to you and special to your heart. You've always had that urge, though. You've always had your intuition. You've always been very strong intuitively. You've always been very strong emotionally. Definitely. So, okay, the first card is the World. Or that's not the World. That's 6 of Swords. I don't know why that reminded me of the World card. I guess it's because it's similar colors, but that's 6 of Swords. So already we're kind of starting off with this energy of like, you have you are insane at being able to read people's minds. Okay. And what they talk about with Six of Swords is like hive mind mentality, in which everyone follows the same path or the same type of thinking within your family. Everyone kind of follows the same type of energy in your family. They all act the same. It's you who sticks out. It's you who's the black sheep. It's you who's different. It's you who defines your own self. It's you who has separated from the pack and become something that better, honestly, something greater, something different, and something much greater. Someone who has achieved more than anyone else in your family. Okay? And especially in this time where it's very important that you define yourself for your own children, define yourself for the children after them. Like, it's very important for you to set an example. And I feel like you've done that. So, like, if you've been into doubts lately where you're like, oh my God, like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I could be who everyone says I am, or I don't think I could be someone for my kids, or I don't think I could be someone for my family. It's like, okay, first of all, let's separate you from the originators, the progenitors. So you don't really have a good relationship with your family, do you? Or a good relationship with your parents. Very, very rough and very rocky, or very up and down. Though there might be love, they're very up and down. Because when I think of progenitors, I think of like you separating yourself from the pack and be like, oh, these are the people who gave birth to me and put me into this world, but they're not really the people who taught me anything. I taught myself. I very much taught myself. I'm self-taught. I'm an individual, and that's just who I am, type shit. Like, y'all got that. Y'all got a little sass in you. You got a little sass in you. So, basically, you've started over. Okay. And I'm gonna show you these cards too. Two of Pentacles. You've started over. You went from very young and naive to very, very well versed in like life and in society. You're always learning too. That's like what I kind of love about group 3 being like my favorite fucking number. Like, y'all are always learning, and karmically you're always learning. Even when you're suffering, even when you're going through painful situations, even when the situation it feels so painful that you almost couldn't get over this shit. You couldn't get over the hump. Even when the world has put you in a tough financial situation, a tough housing situation, a tough family situation, you've always been able to break through. Some of y'all might have Scorpio built within you. Scorpio is kind of known for their ability to reoccur or their death moment, right? Because in tarot, Scorpio is death. Right, they represent death. They represent new beginnings, restarting all over again and again and again and again, like Freaky Friday type shit. Freaky Friday, where you start over from the same timeline over and over and over and over again. Maybe Freaky Friday is not the break. It's what's that movie, y'all? What's that movie? God damn it! It's a fucking scary movie. It's a horror movie. I know it, but I don't know the fucking title. But they start over again and again and again. They wake up again and again and again and again. And each day they try to get something right until they get it right type shit. It's like it don't matter who's trying to stop you. It doesn't matter who's trying to drag you back. It doesn't matter who's trying to place themselves in between you and your goals. You're still going to get there. Right? Even if it's the long way around. And you've done that. You have. Like, they talk about the hangman in reverse. It's like, you might feel stuck sometimes. You might feel like you're going nowhere sometimes, but that's just not true. Okay? It's because you're a fighter. Okay? And fighters, sometimes their head gets a little ahead of the crew or ahead of the group. It gets ahead of it's like forethinking, right? You're constantly thinking about the future. And because of that, you're also having to constantly build nest upon nest upon nest in order to harbor some of these, like, you almost view the past as holding you back or holding you down, right? But I think that if you were to embrace your past and look backwards, that you would shoot fucking forwards. Okay, I'm not saying hyper focus on it. I'm not saying make that your life. But I'm saying once you reflect, you'll be unstoppable. Okay? Group 3, you got to understand, like, self-reflection is not weak. Looking back at who you used to be is not weak. Looking back at how weak you used to be is not weak. Or vulnerable or scared or naive is not weak. Okay? It's just simply a part of life. And you need to see those things over and over and over again. Even if it's through other mediums like other people or lovers or, family members or people that you bring into your life. Even if it's through other people, other mediums, you need to see these things. right? Because you need to learn from them, okay? Not forget them, learn from them, okay? Grow from them, expand from them, because suppressing them is never going to do you any good, okay? High Priestess in the Upright, okay? Like I said, they talk about that intuitive spin with y'all. Y'all are the witches and the warlocks and the people who heavily believe in astrology and heavily believe in self-power, self-driven power. It's not just about God, okay? It's not just about a god or gods plural. It's about your own power, man-made power as well, okay? Though you might put God in the forefront, you still have created this your relationship with God as a means of respecting yourself as well, right? You in a way are your own virtuous God, right? You know that there is, at the end of the day, you also know that there's like a higher power or there's something out there that does dictate certain things, like put you in certain situations because you're like, wow, I asked for this and how did it just fucking appear right in front of my eyes? Like, how did this shit just manifest right in front of my shit? Like, I don't understand. Like, how did I go from here to here type shit? Okay, group 3, you're like, oh my God, like, I must have made a fucking jump or like, how did I do this? And at the end of the day, you know your spirits are there. You know they're guiding you towards situations where you need to be challenged sometimes because at the end of the day, group 3, you know that you are, it's like you ahead of everybody else, okay? But you know that, and I really want to cement the fact that you guys know that you're ahead of everybody else. Like, you know you're somewhere where many people don't even get to travel. They don't even get to touch this area of life. You know you're different. And you know you're meant for something different and something grander and greater. You know you're meant to speak to people in some type of way. You know you're meant to influence people in some type of way. You just don't know how yet. Okay? You just don't know how. And typically you try to run from that because it's hard enough for you to deal with your own life, but to try to deal with other people's lives too, it's a fucking challenge, right? It's a fucking challenge. You don't feel like you're in the place in life yet where you can simply just self-reflect and let everybody know your knowledge. Like, you don't have your wisdom spots yet. You don't have your wisdom spots. Like, when how old people, they say, okay, how many spots you have, liver spots you have in your body is going to be how much wisdom you have. You don't have your fucking wisdom spots yet, bitch. Like, you're trying to get there, but you don't feel like you're there yet. But I feel like you are almost, you can sit there and act like you are filled with flaws. You're filled with holes. You're a fucking idiot, or you can sit there and kind of degrade yourself or beat down on yourself. But what I see is someone who is almost in this aspect of like flawless. Okay. They talk about flawless beauty with you. So physical beauty is no one could beat it type shit. You're very natural beauty. So you don't like wear makeup, or you're not a man who has to do too much in order to look good or feel good or smell good or look sexy, look attractive. You really just don't, and I think you know that about yourself as well. They do talk about they talk about a grandmother or grandfather. They talk about someone who's older also having a huge effect on your confidence, or gives you a boost of confidence. Whoever this person is, I do believe that this person is someone who has passed away or is not with you anymore. But I do think that this person is with you in spirit. So they are with you on the other side type shit. They are with you in spirit. They are like your ride or die, for example. I would say like this person in life was definitely someone who performed as a guardian to you. Even if they weren't your parent, even if they weren't your grandparent, they were someone who was a guardian to you for sure. And so they are still guardian to you in death. Okay? They talk about they talk about Leo, or like I said, very, very strong, possibly masculine energy. So they talk about a Leo, or fire sign, or possibly Gemini as well. Okay, what else we got? Pisces as well. Okay, talk about asking for help here. Help about what, group 3? I can't be okay with how things are right now. So it's possible that spirit has been wanting you to be okay with your current situation and your current challenge, but you can't be. it's almost like you're being forced right now to be humble, and you just can't be. Okay, it's like be humble, accept what, sit down. Be humble. I kept picking up on that. Be humble. Hold up, bitch. Sit down, little bitch. Sit down. Like they keep talking about that. Be humble, but you won't, and you can't. Um, you can't view at what you have right now as being like a good thing or positive. Like you just can't take that shit and turn it into a positive. So what spirit has kind of done for you right now is make it impossible for you to move. Um, a part of you working through your shadow self or your past is going to be accepting that things are how they are right now as current. So in the past, you thought you could change things. In the past, you tried to change things. In the past, you tried to change the past. You know what I mean? You tried to change everything that happened to you, or you tried to be better than what happened to you. Instead of working on what happened to you, instead of working through it, instead of working through your PTSD, your traumas, and everything that made you, react, but you couldn't. And so right now, you're still trying to do that same thing that you did as a child. Deflect what happened in the past. You're not trying to understand it. You're trying to get rid of it. Sweep it under the rug, as they say. And no, I don't think that this is a situation of like, what everyone had done to you, which is basically sweep all your trauma, sweep all your bad thoughts, your negativity, your depression. Like I feel like you had parents or you had people around you who always swept everything under the rug. And I feel like you imitate that, but in a different way. I don't think it's in a way of like, that toxic emotion shit where it's like, okay, somebody had been abused or someone abused their power over you or someone was essayed, for example. If you don't know what that means, it's I don't think you're doing shit like that, but I do think you are sweeping things under the rug. You are trying to make it out to be like, oh, this ain't nothing but a thing type shit. But it's more than that. Okay, it's more than that. You need to stop taking things like it's a grain of salt, especially when it comes to your emotions. Okay, you're no longer in a space of where you have your youth to figure shit out, right? Or if you are in a youthful position, you are no longer in the timeline to where you could sit here and try to force yourself to figure shit out. Right now, you're on the timeline of you have every utensil you need to survive, every utensil you need to push through, and every utensil you need in order to start something, right? To start something new. You might not like where you're at right now, but it's not you who dictates that, right? And that's what that's what Spirit is trying to tell you. It's like, okay, certain things happen, right? But certain things happen for a fucking reason. You have to be grounded, okay, for what's coming next. What's coming next is great. It's better than what you ever had before. They don't want you to lose that, right? Your relationships with your family in the past do not dictate right now, currently. And you shouldn't allow it to. You should also not allow your relationships with toxic individuals of your past to affect what you think of yourself right now. Because that's kind of what's going on. It's like, oh, they were right. Like, I need you to stop with that. Because that shit is toxic too. We got like 444 happening right now, which is a card that actually came out for y'all, which is seasonal growth. Maybe this season is very hard for you because you've had a lot of shitty relationships or a lot of shitty people. Maybe someone was born around this time, or maybe this is like a kind of a constant reminder of where you're at right now in life, or how you're feeling, or how you're failing, or it's something like that. Like this is a really big season for y'all for whatever reason, or how you failed to be this, or how you failed to be that. You're beating yourself up because you're still stuck. You're still stuck in the past. Your needs for your future are not being met yet, or like whatever needs to be offered to you. And I feel like it's mainly financial, or mainly a move, or mainly a transfer of location, or transfer of money that needs to happen right now. Your needs are not being met. The only way they will be met, though, is if you accept how things are right now. You don't have to be happy with it. Okay, you know what you want. You know you want to succeed and excel. That's what you know. Okay, you already know that you want to move on with your life. You already know that. Okay, let's stop with the things that you do know and start with the things that you don't know. Okay, do you know how you're feeling? Do you know how you're feeling and doing internally? No, you don't. Are you kind of dissociated right now? Absolutely. Are you dissociating because you want to get away from what's happening to you on the outside? Or it's like you are crumbling, right? And I'm not saying you're crumbling in a way where you will never be able to get back up, because like I said, this is like the Scorpio part of whoever I'm talking to right now in group 3. You guys always come back. You always beat the fucking you beat whatever needs to be beat. You get through. You always do, right? You never off the deep end. And I just want to make that clear. So it's not something that you're never going to wake up from type shit. But this is something where you actually need to pay attention to your emotional state. Okay? You're going to have to work through some of these traumas, some of these situations. And I mean it. Like, this is your only path to freedom. It's to work through this shit. It's your only path. And I mean, even if you sitting here with fucking 2 pennies and a fucking dime in your hand, you have to. It's a necessity. Okay? So save up whatever you got to save up. Round up whatever you have to round up. Leave behind whatever you have to leave behind. But by all means, you need to work through this shit. So if what it takes is a transfer of location with barely a motherfucking penny to your name, or you need to go back to where you came from, or you need to go back to take care of somebody and do this and do that, or go back, I'm not saying go back to any toxic, neglectful situations, but I'm saying if you need to go back in time for a second to finish this shit, get it done, finish this shit and get it over with, then do that. Okay, do that. Sometimes we have to work backwards in order to move further forwards. Because whatever is stopping us is subconscious. It's something that is far, far, you think it's far behind you, but it's biting at your motherfucking heels. Okay? It's biting at your heels. It's right there. It's right there with you at every step of the fucking way. Every corner. Okay? And these are some tight motherfucking corners. I think you can lie to yourself a lot. I think you kind of like your own snake oil salesman. Like, you could sell yourself a motherfucking dream. You can sit here and sell yourself the biggest motherfucking dream and be like, this is the type of life that I'm going to have regardless. This is the type of life that I'm going to give my kids. This is the type of life that I'm going to be gunning for. But it's like, you can't have that life without a little bit of a fight. And you know that, though. And it's not just a physical fight. It's not just a mental fight. It's sometimes a spiritual fight too, right? Sometimes it's a spiritual fight. Sometimes it is an emotional fight. Sometimes you just fighting in your own goddamn head, okay? But this is why we need to turn up the motherfucking volume on some of those past situations. Deal with it now. Do not carry this for the rest of your life. Do not do that. Don't carry that pain. Don't carry that like vengeance type energy for the rest of your life. It will affect you. It will affect your children. Don't carry that anger with you for the rest of your life. I see, dude. I'm like, right now, I'm wired upon y'all's energy, but come on now, like, confront who needs to be confronted. Okay, cut off who needs to be fucking cut off. Let this shit go. Right, work through this shit. You no longer, I feel like, I'm going to say this confidently about group 3, you're no longer alone. Okay? You need to realize that you're no longer alone in your thoughts, in your mind, in your physical space. You're no longer alone. You have now other people who look to you for advice, for guidance, or if not, they coexist with you or want to coexist with you. And there's maybe romantic situations in 2024. There's people that want to coexist with you, that want to love you, want to accept you, but you need to accept you first. All of you, everything. Everything. Okay? So, that we're talking about the reincarnation shit, and that's something kind of we're coming back around to. It's like, you guys are a reincarnation of somebody in your family, or you are a direct reflection or mirror reflection of somebody that has been alive in your family at some point in time, whether it be great-grandparent or grandparent or mother or father, whoever the fuck it is. I'm just saying, you are direct lineage, direct line of that person. You act just like that person. You have every single detail, personality trait, everything about that person is instilled within you. Okay? But sometimes old dogs need to learn new tricks. Okay? And that's just factual. Sometimes old dogs need to start over and learn new motherfucking tricks. People who say that old dogs can't learn shit, I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. You can learn to appreciate what you got. You can learn to appreciate what you got, even if it ain't jack shit. Learn to appreciate the life that you have. Even if it's hard to do that when you've been through so fucking much. Okay? When you've had to fight through every ounce of your own life. Okay? That's hard as fuck to be appreciative. But you can't tell. Listen, Group 3, I'm not trying to downplay your emotions at all because I know how strong y'all are. But what I'm going to say this, right? A person or a child, even like I said, a child, right? There's kids out here that are 14 and 15 tackling leukemia, tackling horrible diseases and cancers, and horrible situations where they know tomorrow they might not live the next day. Tomorrow they might suffer. Tomorrow they might have to go through horrible treatments that rupture their body. And this might be something you have been through. So like, keep this in mind, Group 3. There might be a tomorrow where you or someone you love has to suffer every single day through their life. And that might be something you have already been through. You have already gone through. Okay? But still, and yet still, we see these people pushing themselves past to what we even think humanly possible. We see children who, like I said, have these diseases and have cancers and all this type of shit. We have these people that still have a will to live and to survive and to push through and see things differently, constantly looking for new coping mechanisms, constantly looking for new relationships, new friends, new allies, new cures, right? New cures for cancer, even though we have no known cure, right? We treat people with cancer, with another cancer type shit, with radiation, which could end up killing them, right? So, like, I'm using this as an example, Group 3, because at the end of the day, we know that sometimes life is a bunch of fucking mangled up pieces of the past and pieces of your suffering. We know sometimes it's repetitive and sometimes it really fucking hurts, and it's a complete and utter like blowout, right? Sometimes you literally blow shit out of your ass and you don't even know where the fuck you stand, right? But what you need to do is you need to work on those things of the past. You need to go back. You need to go back. And you know that. You've been knowing that, in fact. You need to work on those things and look backwards. You need to go through that trauma. I'm not saying going through that trauma physically again, but you need to go through it emotionally. Because you never did. You never allowed yourself to. And talking about it and opening up about it to the people that love you, that you know love your motherfucking ass, so don't you even get it twisted. But talking about it will open you to an all new direction. Okay? Your relationship with whoever I'm talking about right here, like whether it's your relationship with your lover, relationship with your family, your children, your mother, your father, I'm telling you, like, this will be life changing. The pain that you've always felt around your neck or your chest, they talk about pain right here. A lot of this is emotional pain. A lot of what triggers you into those PTSD where you're having a full fucking panic attack is PTSD. It's emotional pain. It's emotional stress. They talk about seizures as well. That might be something that's happening too with you, where like you're putting yourself on such high stress or maybe on high stress medication or something like that, to where you possibly could even suffer from a seizure. Or this could also be a case of like you getting so high that like health issues are starting to occur. So you might be getting so high or so drunk or whatever. Like you're trying to use different mechanisms or mediums in order to suppress, but you need to stop suppressing and start releasing. And that's what's going on with y'all, Group 3. I'm going to do a couple more messages for y'all. I want to do a money message for y'all. I haven't even used these cards yet for Group 3 or for any of the groups. So I want to see what's going on with y'all. They also talk about writing for y'all. So manifestations and writing. It's possible that you guys have a tendency to kind of like you do a lot of doodling, scribbling, drawing, or writing in order to relieve stress. You should maybe maximize that and do that a lot more, or start buying things that will influence you to do so. So like, for example, maybe it's someone who had a little bit of ADHD like me, and it's very hard for you to sit down and do one thing. So get several different activities to do. Get several different sketchbooks or several different mediums of art, like pencil or pastel or a marker. Get several different things to do. Or adult coloring books I pick up on a lot too. Or adult journals. Like something on paper though, so you can literally physically write on it. And they do talk about you possibly going to therapy or talking to somebody about your struggles. And this is sometimes what's therapeutic though too, is enveloping yourself in a new what do they call that, hobby, a new hobby. Okay, so there might be a new hobby coming up for y'all. Let's see. And this is the hustle deck, so let's see what's going on. Group 3, money blocks. Okay, so that's, I'm sure that's true for many of y'all, is that not only is it money blocks, it's also blocks moving forward. So you're not able to move forward because your money is affected, because your emotions are affected, because your body is affected, everything's affected. So they talk about blocks on getting to where you need to be. They talk about, so the next card I actually got was Stardom on the Rise. So there's only up from here. Okay, so if you view this as your bottom level, like you bottom the barrel, you don't know where the fuck you're at type shit, like, just realize there's only up from here. That's what they're saying. It's only up from here. That's all you have left is up. Keep ascending. Keep moving up. That's all you can do is keep learning. You know, even if you feel like you're on your last legs type shit or your last wit's end, keep learning. Okay? Keep learning. Keep expanding your knowledge. Your hard work is going to pay off. Okay, that's another card that just came out. Your hard work will pay off. So you going back and going through all these motherfucking memories and going through the past and working through the emotions of it and trying to treat yourself as seriously as possible. And I mean that. I mean, like, you're not ignoring yourself or just casting yourself aside. You're actually focusing and talking about the shit and being serious, going through the emotions, crying, emoting, getting angry on your own behalf and letting out your insecurities. That shit will pay off significantly. Okay? Significantly. They talk about avoid trying to do too much when it comes to your finances as well. So maybe you're piling on too many different projects at the same time. Or you think by adding on to a project or adding something new onto a project, that it's going to change the outcome, but it's not. Like you are literally where you need to be right now. That is what they're saying. You are where you need to be right now. Adding anything extra onto this, or adding a third job or a second job, or I don't know, maybe you just trying to add like a new item into what you're selling. They're saying what you are doing right now is plenty. Okay, so don't over stress yourself over trying to do something new or trying something new. They said money moves. Okay. Make a money move type shit. And let's see what the next card is. They said, pay off your debts owed. So whether it be a loan, whether it be paying off like some sort of a situation with a car, like, because I really pick up on cars and the houses and apartments and homes. So they be talking about paying off your debts. And debts, in my mind, when I think of a debt, I think of like, okay, you might have been all caught up on something financially, but it's like you also are kind of struggling right now with saving money. So because you have, I guess, now the time after paying off the debts, now you have the time to save. You should start saving now. You need to stop like making plans ahead or like you keep reinvesting into a situation that you haven't found fruitful. That's why I keep picking up on. So maybe it's a job, could be a school situation, whatever it is. For now, I think it needs to go on pause so you can continue forward in 2024. You're making changes, basically. Yes, you do need to pay off those debts or those loans, those situations that are costing you more over time. Even if it is a large sum of money, like you might have to live through a couple of months with just like really, really saving your shit. Let's see what else we got. Windfall of money is coming your way. And the next one is time to take things to the next level. Okay, so everything positive coming in the financial realm. But you just need to, I think what you need to do is start taking it slower. Okay? Taking it slower is really, really important. So taking it slower on your mind, your body, your soul, your emotions. Take things slower. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not missing out on anything. Okay, I promise you. You want to rush because you feel like it's getting too late, or you feel like everything that you do has never really amounted to where you need to be or where you want to be, but that's not true. You will get there, and I need you to be a little bit slower about this shit. Okay? Just be a tad slower. Just take your time. Okay? They said, so about group three, free. Oh my God. Maybe that's a sign note. Maybe that's a message too. Group 3 is freedom. You will experience your freedom once you get through this hoop of being humbled. You will experience your freedom, the freedom that you always been looking for, right? The lightness that you always been looking for, and you will realize you are your own lightness type shit. So group 3, they talk about you are loved. Okay. That's one of the messages they said. And I think I forgot to read that shit earlier for y'all, group 3. You are loved. Okay? And I read this earlier as well, but I'm going to reread this shit. Starting over was your karma, and you will do amazing. Starting over, okay, from ground zero, from zero, was your karma. And yet here you are still doing amazing. Still doing great. Still hustling through. Still fighting through. You haven't given up on yourself, and you need to stop viewing it like that. It's like if I give up on it, or if I slow down, then I'm basically giving up on my dreams, my family, my principles, my spirituality. If I change this, then I'm basically giving up on myself. No, that's not true. That's just not true. You're changing your life, and that's for the better. Okay, that's for the better. Well, let me do a little poll on love, and then we're gonna do group 4. Okay, let's pull a little bit on love. So which deck do I want to use? Let's use a star deck. So group 3. Okay, so you find a lot of people not to be your type. Okay, so you have a really hard time with embracing what's your type and what's not your type, because honestly I think like you are attracted, group 3, you are very attracted to intellect, but what you're not attracted to is greediness. Okay, and I think that you have a really hard time with distinguishing whether somebody is like smart enough to play you or just smart enough to get close to you. Now I feel like some people just want to get close to you and some people want to play you. And I think you have a hard time distinguishing that. I think you have a hard time with figuring out whether someone is genuine or not. And I think it's mainly because you don't feel like you don't have the time to envelop yourself in a relationship that will be serious, that will be a romantic in nature. And I do feel like you, instead of explaining this to people, you have a habit of kind of like being really on and off, really flaky, just back and forth with people, group 3. But I think if you were to explain to people your situation, like your stipulation, and how you kind of struggle with following through because you get scared, I think that you would be way better off in that quarter. Like trying to explain to somebody maybe why you feel a little bit more insecure about starting a relationship right now. I think that will really help with getting you forward through a communication stage and a talking stage, because at least you be being honest instead of trying to deny yourself access to having a romantic relationship at all. You know, I think there are people out there that want to take it slow just like you, or that are trying to take it slow, or have been taking it slow just like you, that also do want romantic experiences with you. Okay? So King of Swords in the upright. You know, I that was your card originally, and I feel like this is a person that could potentially come in, and I also do feel like this is you reflecting or mirroring that person. I think what you're mirroring is defensiveness. It's trying to act cold in the light of maybe a more of a serious situation. You're trying to act cold, or you're trying to distance yourself from romance, from this person, especially someone who understands you or gets you or grasps onto you. I think this person thinks of you highly. I think you possibly think of them highly in 2024. And I do think that it's going to be very, very, very impertinent that you guys, instead of rejecting them, instead of being like, well, I don't have time for this, to tell that person, tell this situation, tell whoever this new individual, new love is, or new potential is, Tell them what you're going through. Define what you're going through with this person. I really do think that this person would listen to you and take you seriously. It wouldn't be, you're not telling excuses, okay? At the end of the day, there's no excuse for leading someone on, right? But you're not telling excuses when you tell somebody for real what's up. You know what I mean? And I do think this person will be one of the first to take you seriously. In all honesty, they might even be the first to give you advice on the situation. They might be, this to me feels a little bit more like it's a faded, like friendship almost, like a kinship, where a person can be very, very, very like much a shoulder to lean on in moments where you do struggle, you do try to fight through. You have a, you're very empathetic towards people. You're always wanting to help people. That's who you are. But to allow someone to help you takes a lot. To allow someone to help you and come in and help you and give you advice and to give you the shoulder, that takes a lot. Okay? It takes a lot to be vulnerable. It takes a lot to finally want to be vulnerable too with somebody. But because you are a very passionate and loving person, you gotta understand that's something you will also attract if you embrace it. You will attract that if you embrace that fact. And stop attracting flaky ass motherfuckers, flaky ass people, or people who are already in relationships. Like that shit is getting old, right? It's like damn, like yeah. I mean, people who are already married or already have kids or already have this or already have that, and what you're trying to meet is someone new, right? Not the same old. Where it's like these people they don't commit, they have a lot of lying tendencies, and they refuse to commit specifically to you, but also to life. I feel like responsibilities. They have a really hard time committing to their own responsibilities. So taking care of their own children or, getting through their addictions or fighting through whatever life has kind of thrown them. They have a really hard time with doing that, especially by themselves. But you can't carry them there. Okay, group 3, you can't keep carrying people. You have to accept that some people are made for this life and some people aren't. And that's how you need to continue to take it moving forward. Is some people are made for this shit. They're made to get through. They're made to be triumphant. And other people's, they just can't be. Okay? We have the Magician in the upright when it comes to love. And then we also have 10 of Cups in the upright when it comes to love. You're going to get your happy ending. Not in 2024, I don't think. But I do think you're going to meet somebody who shocks you, who surprises you, who makes you feel, even if it's just for one moment, they make you feel loved. Okay, Ace of Wands. Yeah, they make you feel love. They make you feel heard. Might not be the most traditional relationship. So maybe instead of a love relationship, it could be a friendship. It could be someone who becomes a long-term friend and then turns into a partner. But whatever it is, it's something that actually makes you feel loved and valued. Okay, they make you feel important. Ace of Cups. Yes, they make you feel loved. Like you swell, like this person I feel like swells with pride almost. Or you swell with pride at this person. It's like, oh my God, like, this is the best person in the world. Like I love you, I appreciate you. You're my, yin to my yang type shit. I feel like feminine to masculine almost. Or 9 of Cups in the upright, which is like this person brings you peace. They bring you stability. And that's shocking to you, honestly, because you never really expected that. But you know that's what you need. Okay, you need peace, you need stability. And though I don't see y'all getting into a very serious connection or relationship in 2024, what I do see is you opening up your heart, opening up your vulnerable side, and exposing that to somebody. And that in the long run is going to make you much more agreeable to a relationship, much more agreeable to your person, much more passionate, less cold, because you've been cold lately. You've been cold, but you're not cold-hearted, and you will find a healthy connection. Okay, they said fated meeting. Okay, there is a fated situation for you. There is a soul connection for you. I do feel like this person is of the faith. I don't think this person is like a preacher or anything like that, but I do think they're of the faith, so they believe in something. Okay, and that's what you got to know, is that person is spiritual. They're just like you. They're spiritual. So they got that in their background, or they secretly do. You might open this side up in this individual. You might make them more spiritual or more astrological, or you might highlight certain things in their life with your own intuition. Okay, you might help them, and they might help you. So just keep that in mind, group 3. This is no, this is all for now. It's innocent, right? For now, it's innocent, right? Don't take it to a place that's serious when you're not ready yet, right? Be honest with the person that you're dealing with. Be honest with yourself, and when you're ready and when you're not ready. Okay, don't rush somebody just because someone's trying to rush you. Allow things to move slowly, and as slowly as you need, as slowly as you want. And that includes in work, and that includes in finances. You need to allow that shit to accumulate slowly. I know it sucks and I know it hurts. I know you've gone through aspects where you've been able to go ascend really, 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 really quickly, but then descend really, really quickly. I know it's been a lot of ups and downs, but that's the challenge, right? That's the challenge of being humbled. It's like, you know that you need to take your time to understand this, and you will. 2024 is all about that shit. It's breaking out of your depression, breaking out of your cycle, and finally becoming like someone like who you can fully respect, because you respect yourself, but you don't fully respect yourself. So that's what's coming up in 2024, y'all. Early 2024. That's what you're gonna be working on. Okay, it's oh my god, like I feel like you guys become like this very closed off, cold person to becoming like an open book. Like anyone could read you, and anyone could see where you're coming from, and anyone can respect and accept and love you. That's what I feel. Okay, so that's what's up. Group 3. That's what's up. And by the way, y'all's item was this feather. If you didn't see the picture, it was this blue feather, blue striped feather from Blue Jay. Blue striped feather. All right, let me get a little drink here in between. Our next group is, I'll flip that over. It's group 4. So group 4 is also a pretty spiritual group, to be honest with y'all. Definitely different. Okay, definitely stuck out to me because it reminded me a lot of like Pisces energy, and you don't have to be a Pisces, obviously, but you could be somebody who is already spiritually and kind of like has an audience in that. So you have already some sort of a gift that you know about and that you use on a daily basis. That's what I feel. Okay, that's what I feel. So it's something different. I might have to go take a piss, y'all. In fact, I think I will, just so I can get all the way through without having to stop. So I'm going to put this on, be right back. And then once we come back, we will get started on Group 4's reading. Okay? All right. I got a little bit more drink. Y'all, wow, what are I'm drinking? I'm drinking rum. Just to help me focus just a little bit, because I've been a little bit manic lately. Let's see. So I'm gonna try a different deck with y'all. Group 4. Let's see. We're gonna try this one. I do love this deck. Has some Chinese art on it. Let me see what the. Let's see. We at 239. So let's say we starting at 240. We start in group 4 at 240. So group 4, 240. That's the timestamp. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Let me get my music on. Like I said, I will edit them to being the accurate timestamp a little bit later. This is just for now for the people that are in the chat. We'll get more accurate later. So group 4 is got like a really interesting energy on them too. Everyone's different. By the way, every group is pretty different as far as energy goes and expectation. But most of all, group 4, you guys stick out like a sore fucking thumb. You guys are extremely different as well. Like there's been extremes I think through every single group, but to y'all there's something very very like they got that royalty spiritual energy, like where it's like you just have a you might do this for a living type shit. Okay, you might do spirituality or you are psychic in some type of aspect. You're very psychic in fact, and I feel like whatever you just dealt with is kind of on it's a lower vibration, lower level type shit, and it was nothing to do with you. And I almost feel like this was a lesson for this other person. But most of all, the lesson that you were met for or met with, I guess, would be the correct terminology. You were met with some sort of karma, some sort of a lesson yourself, and I just think it's it's like your personal identity and who you are. Okay, because they talk about Scorpio here as well. We talked about Scorpio in the last group, but with y'all, it's a different relationship. The person that you were dealing with could have been a Scorpio as well. And so, group 4, I think it's okay to love. Okay, it's okay to love someone. It's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to have a relationship with somebody, and it's even though you are spiritual, you're a giver, you're psychic. You know, you may even be a person who's like more of a loner, or you're always somebody who takes, for the most part, human relationships or human communication pretty. I don't want to say ignorantly, but like you try to steer away from it. You're somebody who definitely does heal a lot of people though, and I don't think you necessarily even realize that you heal a lot of people. You have it. You have a trait within you which you're able to perceive or see someone's background. And they talk about the psychic aspect big with you, and it might be a Scorpio placement in your chart that does that psychic shit. Because when I always talk about Scorpio, I always talk about them being witches, and that Scorpio was the very first witch. That's how I perceive Scorpio, is because Scorpio is able to transcend death and reinvent themselves and essentially reincarnate themselves into a better situation. So what I saw with group 4 was this ability to put yourself in other people's shoes, empathize, see through their eyes, and almost become that person. And I don't mean that in like a toxic way. I mean that in a almost in a way of like you took lessons from other people's lives and kind of stayed away from love for a while, or stayed away from having intimate relationships with people for a while, because you watch people around you crumble. And maybe a lot of people might identify with this in the chat, y'all, but I think most of all, Group 4, you identify with this in a very extreme way. Very, very extreme way. You saw people fall. You saw people crumble. You watch people lose themselves, or you watch someone possibly lose their life. This could be something of to the effect of you watch somebody die, um, or if not die, then you watch somebody just lose themselves completely. Kind of reminds me of dementia, and I don't know if this is a situation that is very personal to somebody, but I can definitely see how you watch somebody lose themselves and possibly an addiction, dementia, or something of that nature, where it's like you watch them lose themselves, and that was really really difficult, really hard for you because it's definitely someone you loved or fell in love with. It's somebody who you felt like they changed your life for the better for a while, but then it became like a tilt or got crooked after a while. It's like this person made you rely on them in some type of way, even though you're extremely psychic and extremely intuitive. You fell for whatever the charm or the beguile. Like I pick up on the energy of like beguiled. So you were tricked by a monster or something like a wolf in sheep's clothing type. And I feel like this this almost has prevented you from moving on into a new relationship, or it's created like a stigma for you where you feel like everybody that you try to get with is going to be like that person. It's going to literally be that person through and through. Or you're still not over that person. Like I said, you're still in love with that person or aspects of them. So you can't let them go. They still might hit you up and this and that. You might not respond, but like how you feel internally isn't necessarily a reflection of how you've been, feeling. So I feel like you maybe been backing up a little bit. You've been backing up and kind of taking yourself more seriously, but you're still not done with playing with this individual. Or you're still not done confronting this individual. It's kind of crazy because I feel like y'all have had a crazy life in general, but like I feel like most of all, whatever this relationship with, very tumultuous, very, very, very how to say, like eruptive or explosive. I don't like that. I don't like that this person got you so out your character. Um and what's funny is like group four's first line of things that I wrote down for them was don't like you, don't need you, don't want you. And like I feel like you saying that, but I also feel like your actions reflect another thing. By keeping this person involved or interloped in your life in some type of way, or by not instantly blocking, by maybe being too confrontational, you're also cementing the fact that you do still care what this person's thinking or thinks, even if you're using this person as a lesson. Okay, I think it's a lot of pressure to try to work through this alone. One second, y'all. It's a lot of pressure to work through this alone. Okay, you guys have sometimes issues with repetition, group four, in which maybe not with the same person, but definitely with the same type of person, you will repeat the same cycle over and over and over and over again, and you never really get tired of it. You believe that fully that you can handle it. You believe fully that you can keep dealing with it, keep handling it, keep tackling it the same way you've been tackling it. But I think that's an excuse. I think like you're making an excuse to hold on to a situation, hold on to a person that is no longer there for you, that is no longer loving you, that might not even be like in your life anymore like that. Like you're making excuses. I think what you're kind of surprised about at this point in time is that you're still thinking about the situation, even down the line. Like it might have been 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, 10 years, but you're still thinking about it down the line, and I think it's more painful than you really even like. You sit there and you're like, oh my god, like yeah, I'm still hurt over this person, but like I think you're generalizing it almost. Like you're sitting here like, yeah, well anyone would be hurt if they've been through this and this and that with this person, or if they've been through a domestic violence situation, or if they've been through a abusive situation. Anyone would be hurting, right? But I feel like you're overgeneralizing. It's not anyone, it's you. Okay, it's not anyone. It's you that been through that. It's you that gone through that. Okay, it's you that got everything stripped from you. It's you that got your character completely smeared and got destroyed through dealing with a person romantically. It's you, right? That doesn't. But I want to further submit too that that doesn't make you weak. At the time, were you pliable? Yes, but I feel like also pliable reminds me of children. So like children are very easy to beguile, to trick, and I think that this is how this person saw you, and this is how this person took advantage of you. Is you were a child, or you were someone who was quite young and quite inexperienced in certain aspects of life, and this person took that from you. This monster they talk about in Monster took that from you. They stole that from you. They haven't taken you down from grace though. They haven't taken you down from your intuition, from your empathy, okay, from your manifestation. They haven't taken you down from witchcraft. Honestly, like because I could see some of y'all being witches or some of y'all performing witchcraft. They haven't taken you down from what you're best at, okay. And that's the thing. Like I think this person tried to redefine who you were to yourself. I tried to make you out to be a weakling. Try to make you out to be a submissive person, though you're not submissive whatsoever. You're actually quite stubborn. You're actually quite different. You're actually quite raw, intelligent, emotional, yet not weak. Okay? And not weak at all. At all. I think this person almost tried to become you as well. Like someone tried to wear your skin or become as successful as you. So in order to become that, they had to break you down first. They had to break you down in order to get you on their level, at least their level of like self-loathing, self-hatred. They had to do that, or it's not that they knew they would have to do that in order to be with you, emotionally and romantically. Yeah, this person never gave a fuck about how you feel. They never had an strong attachment with you. They had an attachment to how they can control, manipulate, and beguile you. They were, from the beginning, they were a stranger to you, but you never really listened to that inkling telling you like, oh, like you don't really know who this person is though. Like you don't know really know how this person is. It's like you might have had dreams or intuitive bumps of who this person was and what they've been doing in the background and who they was cheating and who they was beating, who they was cheating, who they was with, how many baby mamas they had, how many baby daddies they had. It's like you might have gotten all of these intuitive bumps but never really listened or paid attention to them until now, obviously, until like you really know the character, right? So you really know the character. They talk about also like master manipulation. When they mean like when they talk about bittersweet endings, they talk about endings that never really feel fulfilling. They talk about endings with a situation where you never really feel fully fulfilled. You never feel like you can be content with how certain things ended. You can never really start a new life if you can't be content, right? If you can't be content with where you are right now. And I think you really, really do stress about like, oh my God, like this person has ruined my life and such. But at the end of the day, like, it's like, what's ruined though? If you still here, sitting here, thinking about the situation, listening to this read, watching me do pulling these cards, like you have nothing to worry about then, baby. Like you still here, okay? You just have yet to kind of start that new story of like redefining yourself. You have yet to start that story. Or start over. You know, it might be still very fresh in your mind, or it's very fresh because maybe it just happened. Maybe you just got away from this individual. Maybe you're just learning how to get away from this individual. Or maybe you're just learning because something happened to this individual. You know, they're gone now out of your life. You're trying to mask, like, your sadness, I think, too, over this situation. With acting like you don't give a fuck, with acting like you're mad or angry or aggressive. You're trying to mask how you really feel about this situation, how you were taken advantage of. Like you're trying to not. I feel like not allow this person in again, or not allow this person to affect you, at least outwardly, like in the physical. You don't want this person to see you cry or see you down or see you weak. You just don't want this person to see you vulnerable. You want to be free of the situation. You really do. You hate this person, and you really do struggle with self-worth because of that. So I can see this was a really fucked up situation. Really, really fucked up situation. What else we got? Tell me about group 4. Tell me more about them. You sometimes can be your own enemy because this person made you the enemy. So this person was like a professional victim. A professional victim who made you the villain. So this person made you out to be the bad guy or made you out to be the one that was always wrong. And because of that, they always put you on blast or always put you on the spot. They can never let you live it down type shit. It's like anytime you did anything wrong. This is how you know this is like private. This is like the primary situation for brainwashing and abuse, right? Is when somebody separates you from everyone else and tries to make you out constantly to be the bad guy or tries to shame you constantly. It's like this person put you in a position where you would have been brainwashed. Okay, they would have controlled you. Could have been in a marriage with this person. If not marriage, you had responsibilities with this person, so maybe you had children with them. You could have almost married them or felt like it was a marriage, or maybe that you all never really got married. You just were together for a long time. And for some reason, you were together for a long time, and this person just kept coming back and coming back and coming back every couple of years. So you were never really with them. Okay, so as much as I love to continue on group 4 about this individual that you were with, I know, like I said, I know it's fresh. I want to talk about you. So what I'm going to do is switch up the energy a little bit. I'm going to switch up. And I want to talk about y'all. Because to me, it's really important that group 4 gets their voice heard. That all groups get their fucking voice heard. But most of all, I want y'all to have something moving forward instead of thinking about what's currently going on constantly and kind of like obsessing over it. Or trying to, downplay this situation. Because I don't think this should be downplayed. I think this is incredibly serious. Yeah, we're going to switch it up. I'm going to burn this bay leaf, cleanse the energy a little bit, and let's see what's up. Let's talk about it for real. Let's talk about you for real. Because you alone right now. That's what they talk about. You almost completely alone right now. Or you're wanting to be alone. And you getting your bag up. You getting your money up. You challenging yourself to create a new job or create something for yourself. I feel like you're creating your own business. So... you already have created your own business. That's what they're talking about. Is y'all have created something that can never be replicated. Your intuition can never be replicated. Your personality, what you show to the world, your body, your skin type, your skin tone. Like maybe you get bullied or talked about a lot as far as like what you look like. They talk about how you can never be replicated. Like what you're good at, you could never ever be replicated. You are that good. You gotta understand that, like, that's how good you are at this shit. You can never ever be replicated in this shit. It don't matter how many times someone tries to take you down or intervene in your success. You are unbelievably good at what you do. You're a professional. That's essentially what they're saying. And yet, somehow that makes you paranoid or that somebody's going to come into your life and smash that shit. But like I said, like you from what I see are completely alone. And maybe that fear comes from you still chasing that high of being with someone who is an eruption, volcanic, angry, aggressive, abusive, neglectful. Or being around people like that your whole entire life. And you get so afraid of it being stripped away from you. You start getting paranoid. Okay? And I think that paranoid projects into your work. I think that paranoid projects into your other relationships. I think that paranoia can also kind of create a really bad mental health situation for you. It's very hard for you to cope. It's very hard for you to act like yourself. or act strong or be strong when situations like this are still running through your head. Okay. So they do talk about it's possible that it's not you who ran away from your problems, okay? And that's what something I want to submit as well. You feel like you ran away, but I don't see you running away. I see you confronting them wholeheartedly, but it's taking you a while to tell yourself the truth. You're in denial in certain aspects. You're kind of in denial. It's like you're like, I can handle this, or I can handle talking to this person, or I can handle confronting this person by myself. I can handle this, I can handle that. You keep trying to tell yourself you can handle it when you can't handle it. You can't handle it. Okay? You know you need to, but you can't. So the truth is a little bit more complicated than what you're saying. You're like, well, I can handle it. I'm a strong motherfucker. No, you can't. No, you can't. You need help. You do need help. And you know that you need help. Except possibly you need help from like a paternal figure or a male in your life, important male in your life. So maybe your father is very close to you, or your grandfather or your guardian or your uncle is very, very close to you. They're talking about this person being able to put a roof over your head, or this person being able to help you through some of these things, make you feel a little bit more calm. I think this person, you're very shy towards this person because you don't want to be judged, but I think whoever this masculine is going to really, really help you flourish through a lot of this pain, a lot of this sensitivity that's still happening because of this relationship, this past relationship. You gotta, like, your nerves and everything like that, like how you've been paranoid, how you've been scared and anxious, it doesn't affect how good you are. I want to let you know, like, it does not affect your intuition. It does not affect, like, the majority of people, when I read for them, when they're going through something rough and tough, usually they turn off their intuition, but yours is heightened almost by the situation. If you're looking for a purpose and looking for a way through life, Group 4, you really need to think about doing some spiritual work. You need to think about magnifying that shit. Because you are good. You're really fucking good at that shit. Like, genuinely, I'm saying, like, whatever you tap into, it's there. And I feel like you have fun with helping people. You have fun. You feel fulfilled. You feel loved. And I think that was a part of your toxic relationships as well, is that you couldn't stop thinking you were helping this person or changing this person, or that you could change this person, right? You couldn't stop thinking that. But this is something where I feel like your position in life goes a little bit above that, right? It goes up, not a little bit, a lot of bit above that. Okay? You are a teacher. You are a teacher. Embrace that quality about yourself. You are a teacher. And you are good enough to be that teacher or speaker or whatever. Like, you are good enough to be that. Just because you might be out here alone, you might not have any fucking support at the end of the day. You can be your own motherfucking support. It's hard for you to stay calm in instances where everything is falling apart. But with a coping mechanism, or a mechanism where you could be helping other people with similar shit to what you've been through. I know you say, you Group 4, y'all people, like, you care a lot about humans. You do. Even if you say you hate them motherfuckers, you care a lot about them motherfuckers. You're like sitting here like, I don't want them to go through what I've been through. I don't think anyone should have this experience. If that's true, then you need to vocalize this experience. You need to ground yourself and share your experience. I'm not saying you need to go to a fucking, Alcohol Anonymous situation, but I'm saying, like, if you could meet up with a group of people, or teach people, or start something on social media, or blog, or some motherfucking shit, YouTube video, I would just absolutely do that shit. If you're somebody who's already in the motherfucking game, and you've been doing that shit, you've been pushing yourself, you've been embracing that side of yourself, and you've been advertising it and putting it out there, then continue to do that. But don't force yourself. Have fun with it. Okay? The whole purpose of this gift is so that you can cope. You can continue to cope with your own life and not have to diverge off of everybody else's pain, right? It's not just when you go into being a psychic or being an intuitive, it's not just about your audience's pain. It's not just about your client's pain. It's also about your pain. Okay? And how you could learn from other people's pain and learn about yourself. You are capable of being a healthy person. Okay? You are. It shows through your actions or mostly your interactions with people. You are fully capable of being healthy. And also you are fully capable of being stable by yourself. You are fully capable. And you're also fully capable of making money by yourself. Because what I see here financially is that you, even though like you might be a little off some days, like you really can make some money. Like you can snatch some money up. Yeah, they said fucking get that Benjamin. And then they said dine and dash. Like they say you could get that bag up. Like you are somebody who is capable of making money move. Okay? You make that ocean move. Like it's insane because I think like you downplay yourself so much, but look at all you do. Look at all you achieve on your own. Like I said, all on your own. And I know you have more lessons to do. And I know you might not be feeling the greatest right now within your confidence. But in 2024, okay, from what I see, there is a business revolving around spirituality and intuition with Group 4. Okay, that is something that's going to happen. Is a business revolving around spirituality and you becoming successful through that aspect. Through that aspect, you're going to figure out that there is nothing wrong with you. Your intuition, that it's not that there's nothing wrong with you, right? Because you do have mental situations going on. But not only is that going to be dealt with in 2024, your intuition and the psychic inklings that you get, you're going to be able to embrace that, right? There's nothing wrong with being able to feel, to be able to see through people, right? And you are going to learn how to use that to your highest advantage. Okay, Group 4? Very, very spiritual people. Like, literally automatically spiritual. Like, to me, the first thing I pick up on is your strong intuition. And that's it. Like, you guys have incredible gifts. And you need to use that shit. Nobody taught you this shit. It is definitely most definitely something you're born with. And even if nobody in your life had been using this shit or you didn't grow up with that type of background, it's with you. Regardless of whether you accept that shit or not, it's with you. Okay? And it's going to continue to be with you. You're still going to have those dreams about the people that you're dealing with. You can still have those situations where you get the downloads. You're going to have all of that happen to you constantly. It's never going to stop because it is something that you should focus on. It is something that you should highlight in your life. Okay? It is something that can heal you and help you. It's not a fucking dream. It is reality. You need to start believing that shit. Logically. I'm saying logically. Don't start going crazy with this shit. But I'm saying logically. Logically, you do have a purpose. And it is being completely and utterly highlighted by 2024. Y'all gonna be, like I said, y'all might be like the fucking, what's her name? Long Island medium and shit. Like, y'all, come on now. Go for it. Come on now. Come on now. Like I said, the person you were in a relationship with downplayed you so much. Tried to tell you were this, crazy like that, and crazy like this, and crazy like that. That's not true. What y'all need is a new perspective, new friends, new everything, new surroundings. And if that means a move, if that means traveling, and for some reason I see Group 4 like backpacking and traveling, like, because like I said, they keep talking about Group 4 being alone. What that makes me think is maybe you're without kids. You don't have a romantic relationship anymore, or you just recently got out of one, so you need travel. Like backpacking or driving around or whatever. Like you need travel. You need to get the fuck out. Right? In order to get the fuck out, you don't need to stop at anywhere in specific, but I say travel. Okay? I say get out there, babe. Travel the fucking world if you can. Absolutely. Yeah, travel the fucking world if you can. And like I said, you always gonna have people trying to come back to you and try to manipulate and still control you from the sidelines. But what you need to do is fucking block them. and continue on with your journey, group 4. Okay, block them. Stop hyper-focusing on what your ex-partners think or what your ex-partners are doing. And stop trying to tell yourself that you're just as toxic as them, because I don't see that being true. Okay? I see you being able to heal and this person not being able to heal. And you need to let that go and let that be. Let that motherfucker go. Okay? Let them be depressed. Let them be fucked up. That's not on your time. That's on their time. Okay? They treat you how they treat themselves, and it's like shit. And they'll never get out of that point with your help. I'm sorry. But there's just some people like that, in whether it be spiritually, whether you're working with a client or whether you're working with one of your personals. You know what I mean? It don't matter. There's certain people that will never, ever, ever get out of the crux. Out of the thick of it. They just never will. They don't want to, in fact. They don't want to. They love what they're going through. It's fucked up, y'all. It's fucked up, group 4. So that shit's over. Group 4, what else is coming in for y'all? What else is coming in for group 4? Protection. So you're being protected. If you was wondering, you are being protected spiritually. Maybe you've been having all these feelings, all these emotions, and all these dreams and shit like that that are coming in. But like they say, you're protected. Okay? You're protected from the fake. That's what they said, the fake and the phony. You're protected from the fake and the phony. Okay, you won't have to run anymore, or you won't have to hide anymore. You'll confront this shit. You're protected from the fake and the phony. In 2024, you're going to update your lifestyle. You're going to start listening to yourself more, listening to how you feel. Instead of, like I said, downplaying or punishing yourself for other people's problems. It's like this shit wasn't even yours to begin with. Like, these weren't even your insecurities to begin with. People were projecting their shit all over you. You're gonna stop rejecting yourself and start protecting yourself. Stop blaming your shit for stupid ass situations that had nothing to do with you. Let's see, group 4. Let's get out the hustle cards. Let's look at your money real quick. Look at your money real quick, group 4. Sorry, my cat be scratching at the door right now. Let's see, group 4. Oh, group 4 is lawsuit. Getting sued or suing someone. So, this doesn't have to be a literal lawsuit, but to me, it's taking back what you're owed. So this doesn't have to even be financial, really. It could be a matter of like you just taking back exactly what you owe, which means you're taking back your time, you're taking back your time management, you're taking back your mental health, you're taking back your powers, your gifts, your intuition. You're taking back everything that was owed to you. Okay, and if they are talking about finances, I see this as a means of like you taking back your individuality. So being able to start your new job or start your new situation, start your it's like old money type. I pick up on like new idea, old money type shit where you're able to use your money that you've made off of like maybe other work or work you weren't really happy with, in order to flip that into something that you do want to create. Okay, so that's what they talk about with that. Guided by spirit. Okay, like I said, spirit be popping through. You get your intuitive bumps, you get your crazy dreams, you get all that shit, and it's not gonna stop happening. You know, you might be afraid of it right now, but once you begin to accept that shit, it gets clearer and clearer and becomes very helpful for you in the future. In 2024. Yeah, so 2024, motivating others to succeed. I think this is what you need to stop doing, because you need your own success right now. Okay? You're not at the top point where I would say that, like, you know, even though like through spiritual means and through spiritual suggestion, you can teach people and help people and guide people, which is great. You also need motivation yourself. So you need to find your own tune. You need to find your own shit. Like, and it might take you taking breaks off of spirituality sometimes, taking breaks off of tarot, taking breaks off of astrology, just taking regular breaks, being able to regulate your own emotions without having, like I said, someone else in the background chirping or other people affecting you. You know, you need just time by yourself completely alone. That's it. What else? What else? They said stop overspending, and then they said it's okay to change your mind. Okay, so stop overspending, and it's okay to change your mind. To me, this is a reflection of what y'all are doing right now. Like I said, you are not happy with. If you were happy with the shit, it would have been easy, right? It would have felt easier, but it hasn't felt easier. It's felt harder, right? So if you was happy with the shit, don't settle for something you're unhappy with, though. Okay, don't settle for the shit. You need to stop overthinking. Instead of what they said on the card, they said stop overspending. You need to stop overthinking. Okay? When you feel unfulfilled, you are allowed to walk away. That is completely within your means. You can walk away. You can find something else. That's something only you could do too. So don't be playing like that. Be like, oh well, well, if it wasn't for me, why would Spirit bring it my way? Don't be playing that way. Don't be saying that shit. Come on now. You know you have full control over your life, Group 4. You don't no longer need to hold on and attach things of the old. Attach to the new shit. Attach to the shit that's offered. Like opportunities that are coming to you right the fuck now. And in 2024, early 2024. Different opportunities. Other opportunities. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid. Stop faking the funk type shit. Or faking your happy. Just stop. Come on now, baby. Come on now. Guys. Sorry, y'all. My brother's home, so he be zooming that shit up. But I feel like that's also a reflection of who you are internally too. You a fun person. Okay? You're not a person who's gonna sit there and let other people decide for you. You're gonna decide for you. And not only that, you have a certain amount of freedom about you that you need to exercise, even through work. So even when work is strict, even when work feels suffocating, you're going to need to find another medium, because that's just not who you are. And if it doesn't reflect who you are, then you got to walk away from it. It's just that simple. Relationships, work, location, it don't fucking matter. You need to walk away from it. They said 3 of coins. Yeah, so shoot your shot, but only shoot it when you know it's something that you want to do, when you feel confident about the shit. Shoot your shot. Okay, try something new. Shoot your shot. Like, well, I'm confident I could get my own audience. I'm confident I could start my own channel. I'm confident I could do this, I could do that. Then do the shit. I could start my own show. I could start my own OnlyFans. It don't fucking matter what the fuck it is. As long as you start it, get it started. King of Coins, you will reap the benefits from the shit. Trust and believe. You will. You will. You will. Okay? Yeah, you're sitting there like thinking like I'm gonna be met with like a lot of repercussions and a lot of people are gonna hate me, and that's not true. Yo, that is so far from the truth. 9 of coins, you're gonna have your struggles. You're gonna have people struggling against you, but at the end of the day, it's like people can't decide on whether they love you or hate you type shit, so they stick around for the ride regardless. How about that? They stick around for the ride regardless, because they can't decide. Even within the first introduction to you, or seeing you, or experiencing you, they still can't decide to this day whether they love or hate you type shit. Now, is that a good thing for work relationships? Yeah. Especially, yeah, because they, at least at the end of the day, they know that they can't compete with you, right? And work. But with romantic relationships, that's something you got to work on. In 2024, you're going to work on that shit. Ace of Swords in reverse. Yeah, in 2024, I don't think you're going to be ready for our new relationship type shit. But I do think you will kind of open up to the idea possibly that you can get some help or advice on relationships, or you will make a exception to a relationship. And I feel like this might be friendship versus having a romantic relationship. So you might be friends with somebody that you maybe wanted a relationship initially, but then you knew you wasn't ready, so you changed that shit up. You switched up. Okay? You switched up on a shit. Yeah, they said confirmation. It's with a fire sign. So a fire sign or a water sign. So Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Okay? So it looks like a friendship. Money looks really fucking good though, y'all. The moment you pull that fucking head out of your ass, y'all. Yeah, Cancer. The moment you pull that fucking head out of your ass, money looks so fucking good. God, y'all. They talk about mad money for y'all. If y'all just embrace and keep going on that spiritual path, and you do what is being called for you to do, the intuitive shit, they're telling you, y'all. They are telling you it runs in your blood, through your bones, through your body. You need to do this shit. You need to. It's your calling. Okay? It's your calling. It's literally since you was young, your calling. You never doubted it. You never been off that path. You've always been in love with it. So follow that shit. Okay? Follow that shit. I don't know if they have anything else to say. Let's see. Anything else to say to... Y'all need to get your mood situation set. Okay, so you might have mood swings. You might feel groggy more lately. Mental illness might be affecting you a little bit more lately. So you're gonna need to get that shit situated. So whether it be medication or you're self-medicating with like weed or something like that, weed actually could be making it worse. That's what they talk about. We could be making it worse, but they talk about making a new schedule or building a new schedule, meaning finding a schedule where you can actively sleep, you can eat without neglecting yourself, basically. So they want you to create a new schedule. Even if it's kind of embarrassing, set timers for yourself. Set alarms for yourself. It don't fucking matter, like, it doesn't matter if it's simple or basic needs. Like, if it makes sense, you've been in a lot of fucked up situations, and especially in your neglectful situations where you've had partners shame you or try to gaslight you, or people try to gaslight you into believing that somehow you're not intelligent and you're lower than them, right? What Group 4, what they really need, what Spirit really needs you to do is, first of all, cast away all that shit. That has nothing to do with who you are today. Okay? As second of all, they want you to be open to other advice. So advice, maybe not from the people that have hurt you or scorned you, but from people you trust. Trust their advice. Okay? They said relatives, Capricorn. So you could have a Capricorn in your family, or earth sign in your family, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. They're saying trust that person. That person loves you and wants what's best for you. They don't want nothing but the best for you. Allow that person in. Like I said, this situation is not karmic. It is forever. Okay, so whoever the earth sign is, it is forever. They're going to teach you and they're going to help you grow. And I promise, whatever I'm seeing here for 2024, it looks like primarily you're going to start your own business. This is going to be big. You don't even understand how huge it's going to be. Like, I don't even think you can conceptualize right now within this moment. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I am good at it. But at the same time, I don't think you get it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, congratulations is basically what I'm saying. Group 4. Congratulations. This looks really, really cool. It's not temporary. It's something very large and in charge. And throughout the rest of your life, it's something that you're going to use. Okay? All right? You don't have to sign any contracts. You might be a singer or a musician or artist. You don't have to sign any contracts or anything like that. You'll be able to work right out your own shit. Okay, Group 4. That's what's up. That's what's up. Self-made millionaire is what I picked up on for Group 4. Self-made billionaire, millionaire, whatever it is. Y'all don't even understand. Good luck, Claire. Good luck to y'all. Okay, for real though. This shit looks very, very cool. Don't let anyone get you off your path now. Be careful with that shit. Because allowing an ex in, allowing a past toxic or neglectful relationship in, it's just going to get you off your shit. Or even future. I mean, honestly, the people that you're meeting now don't really seem... there's people that have always been there for you, but then there's people that come in and pretend that they're there for you. So just know the difference between those. Okay? See through them motherfuckers. See through them. 2024 looks so good for money though, so good for business. So that's group 4. Use that intuition. That's your primary. All right, so I'm gonna hop off this bitch. Oh shit, cause I'm hungry as a motherfucker. I'm very hungry, and y'all. Hopefully you enjoy this. I've never really done like a real pick a card, and this to me kind of was like, I hope it was a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it was different. I hope it's something that y'all enjoy. I will put the timestamps down below. I'm going to have to perfect the timestamps because not all of them are necessarily accurate because, your boy rambles. And then after that point, if y'all could like the video, if y'all could subscribe, turn on notifications, because I do, on the side, I do some tarot readings on live. So, like, if you want a personal reading on live, I do that shit. I do that shit on my channel. You just need to keep the notifications on and see when I'm live. Okay? And I'll be posting a bunch of videos that are going to be up probably, I would say tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be posting a bunch of videos for y'all. So I haven't recorded fire signs yet, but everyone else is done. Fire signs, I'm saving y'all for some dessert, okay? Because y'all are crazy. Y'all got some fucking crazy shit going on. So just let y'all know, it's not gonna be linear. Y'all fire signs, it's not gonna be linear. But yeah. I don't know. This was different. Hopefully y'all like this change. And if you do, I'll continue to do it in the future, and we could talk about more specifics on love situations. I just wanted to do an overview, kind of the beginning of 2024 for y'all to see where y'all would be at. And doing the piles does help because then y'all just pick a number and wait through the ride. All right, y'all.